It's time for the Evansville Otters pregame warm-up on 91.5 FM WUEV and the Otters Digital Network. Coming up prior to first pitch, we'll set the scene for today's game, go inside the clubhouse and interview a member of the Otters about today's matchup, and we'll take a look at what's going on elsewhere in the Frontier League. And now, to get you set for exciting Evansville Otters baseball, let's go out to the ballpark for the Evansville Otters pregame warm-up.
Welcome to a very humid afternoon of Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. This is the Otters pregame warm-up right here on the Otters Digital Network and 91.5 WUEV. Bill, how you doing today?
Well, in all honesty, that stomach of mine's acting up again right now. Hopefully I can survive, but other than that, it is a hot day.
Well, hopefully what can help your stomach feel better is if the Otters could string together quality at-bats with some hits and maybe some runs across the board. We could not see any of those last night.
I agree with you. We need a couple wins under our belt tonight and tomorrow and get back on that winning trail. You're not going to be in the playoffs unless we have more W's.
Well, not only that, I think now we have to give credit to the Gateway starter in Jordan Barrett last night, who pitched a three-hit shutout against the Otters last night. But the Otters had a chance to put runs across the board, particularly in the third inning. They had the bases loaded with one out. Keith Grease over to the plate, he strikes out, and Ryan Long swings at the first pitch and pops it up to the second baseman, Andrew Daniel. So, unfortunately, that was the only scoring opportunity the Otters had until the ninth, where the Otters had runners on the corners with one out and the tying run, and Jack Meggs to the plate, and then he grounded into a 6-4-3 double play.
No, you're right. We only had 4 hits in the whole game, and actually one was questionable that the official scorer gave credit for a hit. It, was questionable. Otherwise, we would have had only 3 hits. Now, you can't win ball games with 3 hits.
So, we're looking for quality at-bats from the Otters, and maybe they can string together some runs. I got to tell you, the pitching staff has pitched quite well, especially from the starters. They've gone at least six or more innings, and they've thrown at least 6 or more strikeouts in their starts.
The pitching staff, I'm going to say for the last 3 weeks, has been superb. We had the starters, they're going 5-6 innings, giving up little 1-2 runs, maybe only 2 or 3 hits, and generally having anywhere from 4 to 6 strikeouts. That is, in my opinion, you should be a winner. However, if you don't score runs, you can't help those starting pitchers.
100%. Well, we'll get to our interview. I interviewed J.J. Gould, the shortstop today, who's going to be in the lineup for the Otters. He's made a ton of defensive plays, and the last time I interviewed him, he had his first home run. Since then, he's hit 4 more. It's a total 5. And afterwards, we'll get the starting lineups and first pitch. You're listening to the Otters pregame warm-up right here on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
Attention UE alumni. Do you know that the UE Alumni Association sponsors numerous events each year in over 20 cities throughout the country and worldwide? Do you know that over 800 alumni, parents, and other friends volunteer with UE as recruiters, mentors, reunion planners, and fundraisers? Do you know how you can get involved? Find out more by visiting our website at www.evansville.edu/alumni.
Now let's go inside the clubhouse for today's one-on-one with the Evansville Otters.
Dave Nguyen here with Otters shortstop J.J. Gould. We're coming off a series win against the River City Rascals and right now a tough series against the Gateway Grizzlies, despite their record. We can't take a team for what their record shows.
Yeah, we talked about it going into the series a little bit. That's how it always is. It's not, it doesn't change year to year or series to series. You always got to play every team the same way. So, despite what their record is, despite what our record is, we got to come in, every series and play every team the same way. So.
Now, what has been the same is your defensive play. If you've made some outstanding double plays or leaping plays to rob opposing batters of hits, just where does that come from as far as the instinct to not only make defensive plays but to execute them?
I think just kind of the will to come out and work on it every day. I know, like last year, I mentioned that I started to take a lot of pride in my defense, especially playing a position like shortstop where you get so much action and you can make a big difference in the game. So I think it's just coming out here every day and going to work, and I think that's kind of like an atmosphere thing. It's not just myself coming out here putting in work every day. It's everybody coming out, and we're out here, every single day, and it's hot, and we may be a little bit tired one day or another, but just coming out here and getting to work every day and getting all the work that we need to get in as far as live reps, fungo, and all that stuff. And then when it comes to the game, it's just go out there and help your pitcher out, have fun.
Now, in recent games, I've noticed that there's been a lot more production in the bottom of the lineup, which includes your guys like yourself. How effective can the lineup be when the bottom of the lineup can get going to help complement the top of the order?
Oh, I mean, I think it's, I think it's pretty obvious. It makes a team better if you can be a threat 1 through 9, and I think that's something that we've talked about amongst ourselves is, how capable we believe that we are 1 through 9, and it is good when you can get your bottom of the order produced to either A, pick up the top of the order, or just go right along with the top of the order in production that they're doing as well. So again, I just think that being capable of scoring offensively 1 through 9 is it's obviously going to put us in a better position to win. And like I said before, we're pretty confident in our lineup 1 through 9 that we can put out there every day. So it's a good feeling.
Now, the last time we talked, it was after you hit your first home run. Since then, you've hit 4 more. Now, you're looking to put good contact on the ball, but it must have felt pretty good to hit 2 home runs, especially in one day.
Yeah, 2 home runs. I mean, it's always fun to hit home runs. Obviously, I think everybody knows that. But yeah, it's just fun to contribute, and I think like I mentioned when we spoke earlier in the season, it's fun to help out the team like that with one swing of the bat. So it's always nice because we're not always going to be able to string hits together. So it's fun to come out here and get an RBI or 2 or 3 with one swing of the bat every now and then. So just going to keep trying to repeat that. I wouldn't mind hitting any more of those. So yeah.
Now, with tonight being Breast Cancer Awareness Night, you guys are wearing pink jerseys, but I think it speaks on behalf of the organization donating their time to community. Now, you guys are not just ball players, you're well-rounded athletes. I guess just speak on behalf of, with tonight being Breast Cancer Awareness Night, as well as being a well-rounded baseball player, serving in the community both on and off the field.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important for people to realize that we're not just baseball players and we're not just athletes. It's not what defines us as people. And like you said, like working in the community and doing events like tonight where we can show our support for just some causes, around whether it's the community or just kind of in general some causes. I think that it's fun to just come out here and feel that environment, feel that, that sense of community and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight. I think it's going to be awesome. Like you said, we're wearing the pink jerseys. So, hopefully we can get a solid crowd out here tonight and put on a good show for them.
And lastly, can you think of a better way to end a baseball game than fireworks?
I say it all the time. It cracks me up how fireworks draw people, and they'll always hang around for the fireworks. I think that there's no better way to end a baseball game than fireworks because I associate fireworks with the good old USA, and I associate baseball with the good old USA. So it's pretty sweet.
All right, JJ Gould, thank you so much. We'll get back to starting lineups and first pitch. You're listening to Evansville Otters Baseball on 91.5 WUEV.
You're listening to exclusive coverage of Evansville Otters baseball on 91.5 FM WUEV Evansville.
You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters Baseball. This is the Otters pregame warm-up right here on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network. Bill, not only are we looking forward to tonight's game, with tonight being Breast Cancer Awareness Night, but it's the same question I asked JJ, and you probably know the answer to this question better than I do. But what do you think it means on behalf of the Otters organization having a night like this to not only express their concern for a cause that's national, but the fact that the Otters are more than just baseball players, they're well-rounded individuals who care about the community?
Well, give the Otter organization, Mr. Bunning, has been bussing. I'll tell you why I started the evening off already. Mr. Bussing and the Bussing family have been doing this for years, and you got to give them credit. You know, one of the worst diseases one can have is cancer. And I know it. My entire mother's family have passed on because of cancer, and of course I lost a sister and I lost a mother through cancer. And I myself have had 3 cancer operations. So, you know, I know what the value that the cancer organization does for people. My sister, just to give you a quick example, if I may, when she was in the hospital, the Cancer Association donated 250 pints of blood that my sister had used. So, you know, if you're paying $50, $75 to a hospital for a pint of blood, 250 is an awful lot of money. So, no, I appreciate the ball players for giving up their time, and the Otter family for, you know, presenting this to the people of Otterville.
All right. Well, I think that is well said. It's just there are a lot of guys who take time out of their day, whether it's going to a senior citizen center or going to a youth center, to just express their care for the community. And I think it goes on behalf of the Otters are not just a baseball team. They are a well-run organization.
Well, I think that's a responsibility, being honest, of being a ball player. If you remember, Babe Ruth went to that hospital bed and turned around and said to the kid, "I'm going to hit a home run for you tonight." And Charlie Root, who I happen to know was the pitcher, and to this day, well, not to this day because he's dead too, but when he was still alive, Charlie Root still kept saying, no, Babe never did point to the outfield that he was going to hit the home run.
Got it.
But,
well, let's get to today's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Gateway Grizzlies, batting first, playing third base, will be Connor Owings, who hit the solo home run in the 7th inning last night. Batting second will be Brent Sakurai, the shortstop. Batting third will be Dustin Woodcock, who hit the solo home run back in the 3rd inning last night. Batting fourth will be Luke Lowry, the first baseman. Batting fifth will be Sean Dunston Jr. in center field. Batting sixth will be Andrew Daniel, the second baseman. Batting seventh will be the designated hitter, Wesley Jones. Batting eighth will be the left fielder, Greg White. And batting ninth will be the catcher, Zach Taylor. On the mound will be Ian Kahaloa, coming in with a record of 2-5 and a 3.80 ERA. Now for the hometown Evansville Otters, who sit one game behind the Florence Freedom, but if the season were to end today, they'd be in the playoffs. But they'd rather win the division rather than being a wild card team, don't you think?
No.
No?
I know that sounds crazy, but yes, winning the division is important. But I think the ultimate goal is to be in the playoffs.
Right.
Because only one team can be the champ, but you can have 4 teams in the playoffs.
Right.
So your goal should make the playoffs, and that's my opinion. Because the worst team or the lowest team out of the 4 in the playoffs could end up being the Frontier League champs.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Batting first, playing second base, will be David Cronin. Batting second will be the designated hitter tonight, Keith Griesaber. Batting third will be the third baseman, Ryan Long. Batting fourth will be the right fielder, Elijah McNamee. Batting fifth will be the left fielder, Taylor Lane. Batting sixth will be the first baseman, Jack Meggs. Batting seventh will be the shortstop, J.J. Gould. Batting eighth will be the center fielder, Hunter Cullen. Batting ninth will be the catcher, Rob Calabrese. And on the mound tonight for the Otters will be their newly acquired man in a trade from the Joliet Slammers, Mr. Matt Quintana, making his first start as an Otter. In his record at Joliet, he was 7-3 with a 2.72 ERA. But the most impressive part about Quintana is in 88 innings pitched, 105 strikeouts, and 30 walks.
Yes, I know you keep emphasizing that 100 strikeouts, and that is impressive, and that was leading the Frontier League, or still is.
Yes.
That is impressive, whether it's 50 innings or 100 innings. 100 strikeouts is an awful lot of strikeouts.
Well, the last time Quintana faced the Otters, or saw the Otters, was when he faced them at Joliet. He threw 10 strikeouts against the Otters, and I'm sure he's glad to be an Evansville Otter, because the Otters are in the playoff hunt, and there's nothing better than postseason baseball. Don't you agree?
I certainly do, and I look forward to this year of being here come, I don't know, September the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and whatever, to the last 6th game, determining the Frontier League champs.
Well, the players are introduced who are about to sing the national anthem, and when we come back, it'll be first pitch from Bossy Field between the Evansville Otters and the Gateway Grizzlies. Don't go anywhere after this on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
We all have busy schedules, but could you spare just a couple hours a month? That's all it takes to make a big difference through the Big Brothers Big Sisters one-to-one mentoring program. You can spend just a few hours a month with a child in need and guide them towards a more positive future. For more information on local Big Brothers Big Sisters programs, call 812-425-6076. That's 425-6076. Start making an impact today.
It's game time for the Otters on 91.5 FM WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
3-1. Long. Toward right. Toward the corner. Toward the foul pole and over the wall. Fair. Home run for Ryan Long.
First pitch. Cronin crushes it in the air to deep right field. He bat flips it and it's way out of here.
Don't forget, Otters fans, you can catch every Evansville Otters broadcast on 91.5 FM WUEV, online at evansvilleotters.com, and through the WUEV mobile app.
Roxon deals the 2-2 pitch. Fastball called strike 3 on the inside corner. Vail rings up Bissell to end it, and the Otters are going back to the postseason.
Now, let's go out to the ballpark for all of the action.
Welcome to another beautiful afternoon of baseball here in Evansville, Indiana. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. Bill, I think that both of us are ready for some Evansville Otters baseball.
I hope so, and we had a nice singing of the national anthem. The Otters are sporting a beautiful, what would you call that, pink?
It is a pink.
Pink shirts. And they're raffling them off, I assume, after the ball game.
That is correct.
So I didn't bid on any, I'll be honest.
I was debating whether I wanted to or not.
Well,
I'm not going to lie.
Well, number one, I can't afford to go out and bid 30, 40, 50, some of those go into $100, you know.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Some of the people that sit down in front of us who are what we call it host families.
Right.
I'd say every year they host like 3 or 4 of the ball players, and they end up buying quite a few of those shirts.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, that's
so
awesome.
they're loyal. Not only are they good host families, they're good fans and good supporters of the Otters.
I couldn't agree more. Let's get to the infield. Rob Calabrese behind the plate. Ryan Long at third. J.J. Gould at short. David Cronin at second. Jack Meggs at first. Keith Griesaber will be the DH. Taylor Lane in left. Hunter Cullen in center. And Big Mac, Elijah McNamee in right. On the mound for the Otters will be the newly acquired pitcher in a trade with the Joliet Slammers, the strikeout leader in the Frontier League, Matt Quintana.
Now, excuse me, you just said trade?
Yeah, we traded for him.
I know. Who did we trade?
We had a new guy start on Sunday, Burleton.
Oh, okay.
And then we traded him to Joliet.
All right, so we just didn't acquire him on whatever basis. We made a trade for him. Okay.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you for that information.
No worries. He looks to pitch in this historic ballpark, a guy who takes his pitching very seriously, and as he should. He has a winning record of 7-3 and an ERA of 2.72.
Well,
we look to see how effective he is. I know he's got a good fastball, but he does have a few breaking pitches, but I believe, like most pitchers, it starts with his fastball location.
Well, he just exhibited a curveball. At least I thought it was a curveball. We'll have to view it against the batter. And
first pitch to Connor Owings, drops in there for strike one.
And Mr. Owings, he was, 1 for 4, but he scored twice last night.
That's right, on the leadoff walk, and then he had the solo home run in the 7th, and then some drama occurred afterwards in the 7th inning.
He was the gentleman that scored
next pitch. Yep. It would be a ball outside, even the count at 1.
He was the gentleman that scored on the questionable play at home plate where it was Mr. Dunston hit a ball that got about 10 feet, 12 feet away from home, and he scored on that particular play.
Well, the next pitch drops in there for strike 2. Count moves to 1-2. Here in the top of the first, no score. Connor Owings batting at .264 in the year. He had that, in a way, a momentum-changing home run back in the 7th that we just talked about moments ago. Quintana now will come set from the right side of the rubber. He fires a 1-2. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. Quintana's first strikeout as an Otter is 1 up and 1 down here in the top of the first.
Well, if you want to make reference to that one, you always keep saying that a high fastball with 2 strikes kind of is fish bait out there that he all run for. And he got his first strikeout. You're right.
To the plate now will be Brent Sakurai, who's the shortstop. He was 1 for 5 yesterday. He laid down a bunt single in the first inning yesterday. That was his only hit. Takes a first pitch strike from Quintana. Count moves to 0-1 with 1 out. Otters wearing pink jerseys in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Night. And there are post-game fireworks after the game today. Sakurai has an 0-1 count. Quintana fires. And there will be a breaking ball bouncing in front of home plate. And the count moves to even 0-1.
You know, as you said, breast cancer, I know that's one of the leading causes for women, but yet cancer, whether it's bone cancer or leukemia or all kinds of people having cancer, that should be incorporated into Cancer Night.
The 1-1 will be swung on foul behind home plate. Count now moves to 1-2 with 1 out.
See, mine was prostate cancer and then two tumors I had on my kidney. So, again, I had cancer 3 times, but yet it's not breast cancer. And, you know, there are men that have breast cancer. So it's not strictly a woman's disease.
1-2 ground ball to Gould. He throws it over, spins, fires to first, but won't be able to get the speedy Sakurai. And that'll be an infield single once more for Sakurai. Back-to-back singles for Sakurai in the first inning of both games. To the plate now will be the right fielder, Dustin Woodcock, who also had a solo home run that occurred back in the third inning yesterday. Not only did he hit his first home run of his Gateway Grizzlies career against the Otters, but last night he hit his first home run at Bosse Field.
And hitting a home run in Bosse Field is an accomplishment.
I couldn't agree more.
It's one of the bigger fields in the Frontier League.
I agree. The first. In addition to hitting his home run yesterday. Quintana will now come set with a runner at first. The right-hander from the belt agrees with the pitch from Calabrese, fires a 1-0, and that'll be a ball in the dirt. Count moves to 2-0 with one out.
You know, you talk about home runs, Dave, and you just look down there at the left field sign and you see where the Pepsi sign begins. Okay, that's more or less where the old left field foul pole was. And it was like 345 down that line. Not, 315 or 325, whatever it is now?
Correct. Here's the 2-0 pitch. It'll be upstairs for a ball.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't have the portable fence or the advertised fence that they have now. We had the brick wall.
That was going to be my next question to you. Was the fence really that far where the brick wall was?
Yes. You didn't see many home runs hitting this ballpark in those days.
The 3-0 right down the heart of the plate for strike one. Count moves at 3-1 to Woodcock, who has 32 hits on the year and 22 RBIs.
Now, are you going to ask me, did I ever hit any home runs in this ballpark?
I'm going to guess yes.
No.
Okay. Hey, I'm being nice. I'm being optimistic at the same time.
The closest I ever came was hitting one off that right center field wall for a double. And that was about 390 feet or something, but that was the closest I ever came. Now, I hit him in batting practice, but never in the game.
Got it. The 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. There's it appeared to be a breaking ball up there. Will be a bit off speed, excuse me. The count moves at 3-2. One out. And it's that high pitch that a lot of hitters fall for, not just the Grizzlies, but throughout the season we've seen the Otters as well as every opponent they face fall for the high pitch that's outside of the zone. The payoff pitch is swung on behind home plate. Count remains full with one out here in the top of the first.
Well, that's one of the reasons Andy Bennis, when we drafted, the Padres drafted Andy Bennis #1, and that was one of the things I described to the general manager, big trader Jack McCune, my brother, and was describing, I said, Andy Bennis throws a fastball like Roger Clemens.
Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. And another strikeout from Quintana here in the top of the first. 2 outs, both on strikeouts. And it'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Luke Lowry.
Yeah, I said, Bennis throws like Clemens insofar as he throws more or less a leather-high fastball, but as it is coming across the plate, it starts to rise. So the bat's always going underneath the ball for a strike.
Quintana set, runner goes. Calabrese down to second base. He's in time. Can he get there? Yes, he can. And that was a rifle down from Calabrese to his college buddy Cronin to end the inning. Sakurai gets caught stealing. We now go to the bottom of the first. No score with the Otters to the plate on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, Make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Indiana 811.
Hi everyone, this is Pat Mitchell-Worley, host of Bill Street Caravan. Join us each Saturday as we bring you the sounds of Memphis, commentary, and music interviews that take you behind the scenes. The show kicks off the All Blues Saturday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. right here on 91.5 WUEV.
The Evansville Otters would like to thank the Evansville Courier and Press for their support and coverage of Otters baseball. The Evansville Courier and Press provides news, sports, and weather coverage to the Tri-State, both in a print and online edition. The Evansville Courier and Press can be found online at courierandpress.com, as well as on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. The Evansville Courier and Press, a member of the Journal Media Group.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. We are in the bottom of the first. No score from Bossy Field as the Otters and Matt Quintana, he threw 2 strikeouts, and then Rob Calabrese was able to catch Brent Sakurai stealing second base to get out of the inning. To the plate now will be David Cronin, the spark plug of this Otters offense, currently batting .289 on the year. He was 0 for 3 yesterday with a walk. Dave looks to fix that line yesterday and hopefully get on base more than once today. Now, as a leadoff hitter, you want to get a hit, but the most important thing is to get on base to help your team establish a run or to get him over in scoring position. The first pitch from Ian Kahaloa, and that hit Cronin's ankle. So as I said moments ago, get on base any way you can. Cronin is now the beneficiary of a hit by pitch. So Kahaloa, in his first pitch thrown at Bossy Field, hits David Cronin in the ankles. Kahaloa coming in with a record of 2-5 and a 3.80 ERA. To the plate now is Keith Griesaber, who's 0 for 4 today with 2 strikeouts. 0 for 4 yesterday, with 4 strikeouts, batting at .282 on the season. And I don't know if you knew this, but Keith in high school was the Missouri Gatorade High School Soccer Player of the Year in Missouri.
No, I didn't know it, but I will say this. If you want to talk about soccer, Mr. Ewing Kaufman, the former first owner, departed owner of the Kansas City Royals, when we first started that organization in 1968, in our first meeting in 1969, having dinner with my brother, myself, and Sid Thrift, he said, I would like to import 100 Italian soccer players who never played baseball before and test them and see if they could learn baseball, because
Griesaber is now behind in the count. He takes two straight strikes to move the count to 0-2.
Mr. Kopman considered the Italian soccer players, the best athletes in the world. So.
Oh, no, I give a lot of credit to soccer players because they literally run up and down the field the whole day.
Yeah.
A called strike 3 to Keith Griesaber on the outside corner will bring out number 1 here in the bottom of the first.
You're right. The soccer players, and the same token with lacrosse players, which the daughter that was up here earlier this year,
that's right,
Amanda, she played 4 years of college lacrosse at
TCNJ.
Right, and was one of those honorable all regional soccer or lacrosse players. And I tell you what, they don't stop. They just run and they run and they run. And when you play a full game without a rest, it is tough.
First pitch to Ryan Long is down and in for ball 1. Long hitting .283 on the season. Yesterday he was 0 for 4.
Well, you don't expect the ball players. Even Ted Williams went 0 for 3 sometimes.
Right. Kahaloa will come set, throws over to first. That's not in time. Now applying the tag is Luke Lowry. Zach Taylor behind the plate. Luke Lowry at first. Andrew Daniel at second. Brent Sakurai at short. Connor Owings at third. It will be Kevin White in left field. Dunston, Sean Dunston in center. And Dustin Woodcock in right. Swing and a ball hit in foul territory to the third base side. Owings might be there, and he is now unable to make the catch.
Misjudged it. Thank goodness for Ryan Long. He overran that. And you could see he was following it all the time, but he didn't have the right GPS.
So Long will be awarded, in a sense, a gift that Owings did not catch the pop-up on the third base side in foul territory. The count is now even at 1 with 1 out. Runner on first in David Cronin, who was hit by a pitch in the first pitch of the game in the bottom of the first. The 1-1, Cronin goes. Ground ball that will be past the diving Sakurai. Cronin heads over to third. He'll stop at third, and he goes past the sign. The throw to the plate. Safe. And Ryan Long will be credited with an RBI.
That's right.
A RBI single, advanced to second on the throw. Cronin got a little lucky. McCauley put up the sign stop. He went right by it and was able to slide in safely.
You described that pretty good. Yeah, I watched Andy there. The left fielder was just starting to field the ball. He didn't have it yet, and Andy did put up his hand, stop. And I don't know if David saw that or not, but anyway, he was miraculously safe at home plate.
I think
the ball did beat.
I'm pretty sure Otters hitting coach Bobby Siegel said, Dave, you do realize that Skip put up the stop sign, right?
Yeah.
So I think Dave has been told that now. He'll probably be told that in the dugout. But in a way, I think David showed his gumption. I think that's the correct word to say in order to get the Otters on the board, considering that the Otters did not score a run last night.
Well, that plus the fact that if you notice, it was a hit and run where the shortstop was coming over to cover because Cronin was stealing, had a good jump. The shortstop came over to cover the throw, which then had his body moving towards second, and Ryan Long then hit it right past him. Now, if Cronin wasn't stealing, that would have been double play.
Right.
So the breaks are going the Otters' way so far.
1-0 pitch to McNamee is in the dirt for ball one, and Bill, you described that perfectly. The fact that Sakurai, he did his job by trying to break to cover the second base bag because he knew Cronin was coming. The problem was Long hit it right past where he normally would have played in his traditional shortstop position.
Well, that's what you practice, or generally you practice hit and run. Right-hander is going to second base. The left-hander is going to shortstop. You're hitting behind because the shortstop is covering second when you have a left-hand batter, and the second baseman is covering second when you have a right-hand batter. So you go the opposite direction. In the meantime, one other point. Ryan Long went to left field again.
That's right. Opposite field RBI.
And we talked about that. He used to do it quite often last year. He wasn't doing it much this year, but now he is, and he's getting base hits.
Swing and a miss to McNamee on a breaking ball from Kahaloa. Honestly, that was ball 3, but it was a slider that bit at the last second from Kahaloa. It went strike, and then slid away into the dirt on the last second.
I wish the TV camera would be in here and watch you describe those things.
No worries. Preston Leinenbach does a fine job for the Otters Digital Network.
Yes, he
The
does.
2-2 is foul behind home plate. Count remains even at 2 to Elijah McNamee, who had one of the Otters' 4 hits yesterday, a single as well as a walk. He walked in the bottom of the 9th to help set up a potential rally for the Otters in the 9th inning last night, but Jeff Bramblett, the closer for the Grizzlies, was able to have Jack Meggs turn a 6-4-3 double play to end last night's game. McNamee has a count even at 2 with 1 out, 1-0 Otters. Their first run in 2 games. Here comes the 2-2. Now stepping off the mound is Kahaloa. And Ryan Long potentially could have been caught stealing. And just another note, do you remember on Princess Night when the bases were in a shade of pink, where I noticed that there was a different shade of color on Princess Night? Well, tonight the bases are spray painted pink as well in honor of breast cancer awareness.
Oh, very good observation.
Appreciate that. Ground ball foul down the third base line. Count will remain even at 2 with 1 out to Elijah McNamee. I was able to talk to McNamee in the clubhouse. Do you remember when he robbed the man from River City of a home run 2 days ago?
Oh, well, how well I do. It leaped up, and you're right, took a home run away.
He said it wasn't the first time that he's done that, but it was the first time in quite a while.
Well, you know, can I throw a brag my way, if I may?
Sure.
We were playing in Pulaski, Virginia, and it was the playoffs, championship playoff game. And I hit a ball, as far as I know, the longest ball I ever hit in my life was 457 feet. Now, why I say 457, because that is what was on the fence. That's the only reason I know what the footage was.
Next pitch to McNamee's in the dirt for ball 3. Count now full to the man from Mississippi State.
Anyway, I hit a ball 457 feet over the fence. Yet the center fielder leaped up, took it from out over the fence and brought it back in and robbed me of a home run. I went out screaming, yelling, using profanity out to center field.
Payoff pitch is swung on, and that'll be a foul ball behind home plate. McNamee knows that he reached for that pitch. Right. It was up in the zone and a bit outside, but there's sometimes when players think that a pitch is too close to call. So McNamee, I believe, did the right thing, just trying to foul it off to stay alive in the box.
That's called protecting the plate, yes.
Oh.
Anyway, to end my story, on the way back, the fans got on me, and, of course, I deserved to be thrown out of a ball game and fined.
Payoff pitch, ground ball to the third baseman, Owings. Throws over to first base, and that'll be in time for out number 2. McNamee does his job in moving Ryan Long over to third base.
Anyway, fortunately for me, the umpire was from New Jersey. And, it was nice enough he didn't call me. It didn't throw me out of the ball game, and I didn't get fined. But he did say, don't do that anymore.
Fair enough.
So, but that was the longest ball I ever hit in my life that I knew of.
To the plate now is Taylor Lane. Lane had the single in the bottom of the 9th to force the tying run at the plate last night. Lane back as an Otter after a stint with the Columbia Fireflies of the New York Mets organization. First pitch to Lane is upstairs by his head for ball 1. Count at 1-0. No, 2 outs. 1-0 Otters after the RBI single from Ryan Long that scored David Cronin, and Cronin was able to get in there on the hairs of his beard. The next pitch is inside for ball 2. Count moves at 2-0.
Not knowing how the other gentleman from the other team is doing, but Mr. Long was tied for the RBI title so far in the Frontier League, 68 apiece. Well, now with that one, he takes the lead, providing the other guy didn't get any.
Martinez.
Yes.
Now, Lane will take a strike upstairs by his chest to move the count to 2-1, as that one was a bit outside, but managed to get into the strike zone for Kahaloa. The next pitch will be inside, belt high for ball 3. And count moves to 3-1 to Taylor Lane.
You were advertising Mr. Martinez prior to coming in here with the Rascals. He had gotten 15 RBIs and was the player of the week.
Yep.
However, we kind of held him in check.
Oh, yeah,
so,
he was neutralized
right.
max to a very good point.
Right.
The 3-1 to Lane. Swing and a miss on a fastball from Kahaloa. Count now full. Lane was sitting on the fastball. His bat was just not quick enough to put contact on that pitch. 3-2 up and coming. Bases first and second are empty. Long is at third. 1-0 Otters. Here's the payoff pitch from Kahaloa. Line drive to second, center field. It's going to be a base hit. An RBI single for Taylor Lane. He's going to go for 2. The ball goes all the way to the wall. He's going to try to extend it to 3. There is no throw to third base, and standing at third with that triple is Taylor Lane. An RBI triple, and the Otters extend their lead to 2. That was heads-up baseball because the ball went by the second baseman, Daniel, and just happened to keep on rolling into the outfield. With 2 outs, Lane didn't stop running, rounded first, headed to second, realized the ball was still in the outfield, and said, you know what, I'm going to use my speed to get to third.
Yes, and may I make a correctful criticism on that particular play?
Sure.
You just described it well, but the point is, when Mr. Lane was going to running to second, he was watching the ball, and that was okay because the ball was in front of him. That's not bad. But once he hit second base, I don't know if you observed.
Ground ball by Meggs to the first baseman, Lowry. He'll be in front of the base path to tag out Meggs to end the inning. The Otters scored 2 runs after not scoring any in the previous game last night. And we will head to the top of the second. 2-0 Otters after this on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
GD Ritzy's is a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball. GD Ritzy's menu features hamburgers, grilled chicken sandwiches, old-fashioned peanut butter and jelly, and ice cream. With 3 Evansville locations, west at 4810 University Drive, on the north side at 4320 North 1st Avenue, and on the east side at 601 North Green River Road. GD Ritzy's is open from 10 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. GD Ritzy's, a proud supporter of the Evansville Otters.
Habitat for Humanity Evansville and the University of Evansville are pleased to announce the Purple Crew Signature Program. The Purple Crew is a program for all UE students, alumni, faculty, and staff to help build houses and earn hours. The goal of the Purple Crew is to help Habitat for Humanity reach its goal of 500 homes this year. Want to get involved? Simply go to Habitat's website, evansvillehabitat.org/volunteer. Then click on the Volunteer Now banner. Register with Habitat as a volunteer and then select days you can build. You can also register as a team. It'll be a fun environment, and after 15 hours, you get a Purple Crew t-shirt.
Heritage Federal Credit Union has 7 full-service branches in both Evansville and Newburgh, serving more than 38,000 members. Membership is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, or attends school in Vanderburgh or Warwick County. Heritage Federal Credit Union offers mortgage and consumer loans, checking and savings accounts, as well as online banking for members. Heritage Federal Credit Union can be reached toll-free by phone at 1-800-858-1693. It can also be found online at hfcu.info.
You're listening to exclusive coverage of Evansville Otters baseball on 91.5 FM WUEV Evansville.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. 2-0 Otters here in the top of the second. That sounds like a good ring to it, doesn't it?
I'll say so. I mean, jumping on board in the first inning, that's a good omen. Now, with this guy so far, first inning, 2 strikeouts, it's a pretty good beginning.
Now, I don't know because I never played high school, never played competitive baseball. I stopped after the 6th grade. But from talking to the guys in the clubhouse, especially if you're a pitcher, it's much better pitching with the lead than trying to pitch from behind.
Well, that's true. The only thing, it depends upon the pitcher.
First pitch from Quintana to Lowry will be in the dirt for ball 1.
You might get too much confidence knowing that you're winning, so therefore you're not giving your best stuff. You know, a lot of pitchers are all different, Dave. You get a pitcher out there and you'll say
1-0. He'll be dropping in there for strike 1. Quintana hits the outside corner, knee-high outside to the right-handed batter, Luke Lowry, count even at 1.
A pitcher might start the inning, the game off, inning 1, inning 2, really throwing fastballs, having a good breaking pitch, and then after that he coasts.
Here's the 1-1, and that'll be outside for ball 2. He threw a breaking ball, and Lowry did not bite.
And you say, what the heck's wrong? You know, I mean, here you had a 90-mile fastball, and now we're in the 3rd inning, and you're down to 85. What's going on? Oh, And I'll tell you right now what the answer is.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Check swing. He does go around. It's going to be strike 2. That was a heater on the outside corner, evening the count at 2.
Well, I got to watch. I want to go 7, so I got to watch what I'm doing, so I don't want to tire too quick. I don't want to give you all my stuff and be tired at the 4th inning. So I'm coasting. Yeah, and they might end up being on the bench when the 7th inning comes.
The 2-2 pitch. Line drive right at Gould. It's on a hop. Throw over to first. Meg's there with the stretch. 1 away. And from talking to J.J. Ort earlier today, those are the type of plays that he makes look routine.
Well, I'm glad he looked at the umpire because the umpire indicated it was not a catch. It was a scoop, and therefore was not an automatic out. The runner had the right to run, and J.J. did throw him out at first base.
Well, here comes Sean Dunston Jr. He happened to talk to him before the game today.
I had the pleasure talking to him, talking about his father and his grandfather. His grandfather, he says, still wears that felt hat that we talked about.
First pitch from Quintana is a called strike to Dunston, counted 0-1.
And I said, how come you ended up in California? Your parents are out there in California. He said, yeah. I said, how did that come? You know, a New Yorker leaving New York? That's like a mortal sin. And
the 0-1. Swinging a drive to deep right field. Going back is McNamee to the wall, and that ball is off the top of the wall in right field. Throwing that relay throw into second base is McNamee. Standing with a double and using his speed is what we saw last night is Sean Dunston Jr.
He got a fastball waist high inside, and he really unloaded on it. But anyway, I said, how did you end up in San Jose, California? He said, well, my father met this girl out there in California, and he said he ended up marrying her and decided to stay. But my father still goes back. He flies back once a year to New York. Those New Yorkers, you can't get it out of their blood. I tell you what.
Oh, I'm sure. To the plate now is Andrew Daniel with the tying run at the plate representing. The first run is in scoring position potentially for the Grizzlies, and Dunston at second. First pitch from Quintana to Daniel drops in there for strike 1. Daniel is hitting .221 on the season. He was 0 for 3 last night with a hit by pitch. 0-1 the count with 1 out. Quintana from the belt. He fires. Line drive that'll be into right field for a base hit. Stopping at third is Dunston. And now the Grizzlies have runners on the corners after the Andrew Daniel single.
If you watched the coach on third base, as Dunston was about 30 feet from coming into third base, he had his hands up there. Stop. He was a cop. Stop now. Don't attempt to come home. And that's what you got to do. When you're running from second to third, you're watching the coach on third. He tells you what to do.
To the plate now is Wesley Jones. Jones playing the designated hitter tonight. He made some nifty plays at third base last night.
Oh, he did.
The first pitch will be outside for ball 1. Calabrese might need to be careful. If you're the Gateway Grizzlies, you might attempt to steal second base, and if there's a throw down from Calabrese, Dunston has the speed potentially to come home.
Right. Potentially.
He has 39 swiped bags, which leads the Frontier League. The 1-0 be a breaking ball in the dirt. Count moves to 2-0 with 1 out. Here in the top of the second, 2-0 Otters the score. The first 2 runs they've scored, they did not score any last night. They scored 2 runs on Thursday night in a crucial rubber match win against the Rascals on Thursday.
Now, the review that play you just possibly brought forth.
The 2-0.
That's a balk.
Is it?
Yes.
So the run comes home. And Macaulay is displeased with the call, to say the least.
Yeah, but I called it right away. If you notice, he lost his footing or tripped or whatever it was, and he had his motion going forward. He stopped, and then he started falling, and then he released the ball. But then it wasn't a smooth delivery. But anyway, if I may Dave, go back to that situation you're talking about, first and third, and the runner possibly going to second base.
Sure.
You teach a catcher. In that situation, you instruct catchers. As you receive the ball, you're looking at the runner on third. Your motion is going to throw it to second, but you're concentrating on the runner to third. If that runner is coming home, you stop and boom, you throw it to third. If he's stopped, then you go to second.
So on the balk by Quintana, it is an unearned run that drops in for the Grizzlies. They've cut this lead in half. Swing and a miss on a fastball from Quintana is Jones. Count moves to 2-1 with 1 out.
You know, I'm going to be honest and admit, I really don't know if that's an RBI on that particular play or not. That's a pitcher's error. So I don't know if it's an RBI given to the, well, the batter didn't hit the ball yet, so I don't know.
2-1 to count the pitch. Fastball dropping in there for strike 2.
It can't be an RBI. The batter's still at home, so.
A unearned run to say the least, and
right.
the Grizzlies have cut this lead in half by the Otters.
Right.
Still in the top of the second, 2-1, Evansville. 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 run on 3 hits now for the Grizzlies. From the belt, Quintana fires. At 2-2 is lined over the head of Meggs into right field, and stopping at third base will be Daniel. That is now 3 straight hits for the Grizzlies here in the top of the second.
And again, observing the third base coach, he ran down the line. He's looking at the play there. He's holding up the runner from second. He, in other words, what we're saying is he's not very aggressive. He's not going to gamble. So you keep that in mind.
Calabrese gives out the calls to the infield, most likely saying, hey, guys, let's try to work a double play. Long will play on the edge of the infield grass at third. Holding the runner at first base is Jack Meggs. Moving closer towards second base is Cronin and Gould. To the plate now is Greg White. White was 1 for 4 last night with a single. First pitch from Quintana drops in there, knee-high inside for strike 1.
Yeah, now we're back to that situation we were talking about. Runners on first and third and 1 out. Now, I don't know if the runner on first has got speed or not.
We may find out.
Well, he doesn't have a good jump. He's close to that bag, so.
Swing and a pop-up foul down the first base line. Moves the count to 0-2. Another strike right here will put things easier on the Otters defense. As Quintana, the strikeout leader in the Frontier League, has been acquired by Evansville. That occurred earlier this week. His first start as an Otter. 0-2 the count. Quintana from the belt. Fires. Strike B. Ooh. What could have been strike 3 called as a ball just a bit outside.
Well, I would have bet the ranch that was a strike.
Bet ranch dressing?
Yeah.
I kid. I know what you're talking about. The cattle ranch.
Yeah.
1-2. Swinging a blooper into left field. That's going to drop for a base hit. 1 run will score. This game is tied on the RBI single by Greg White. The Grizzlies are playing small ball, Bill. They had the double by Dunston. The run scored on the balk. Daniel then singled. Jones singles. And now White has the RBI single to tie the game at 2.
And as you presented a minute ago, that was 3 straight hits. Well, now it's 4 straight hits. And here comes Max.
Trying to settle down the newly acquired Otter. And probably wants to say, hey, you know, let's just try to make your pitches here. May want to ease up on the fastball just a bit. They're sitting on it. Maybe try to throw more of your breaking pitches to try to get him to chase.
Well, in all honesty, you had 4 hits in a row. Dunston led off with the double. That was a smash. He really put the wood to that ball, and that was a good hit. Other than that, the next 3, just like that last one, they're bloopers over the infield. They're bleeders. So he really isn't getting hit that hard. It's not a question of smashing the baseball. They're just making contact, and the ball's falling through the open holes. or over the holes.
So to the plate now is Zach Taylor, the catcher. Taylor is 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts yesterday. First pitch from Quintana drops in there for strike 1.
Oh, did you see that runner on second base?
No, what did he do?
He had third base stolen if he continued. He started running and got halfway and went back. He could have stole third base easily. The pitcher never paid attention to him. See
Here's
that?
the 0-1 from Quintana. Ground ball, foul down the third base line.
Did you observe it? He's not looking at the runner at second at all. He doesn't know if he's 50 feet away or 10 feet away. He's got to glance back. Otherwise, like I said, he'll be able to walk the third base.
Oh, 2 the count, 1 out to Taylor. Otters need a ground ball to turn 2. Open bag at third. Tie game at 2 as the Grizzlies have played small ball in this inning. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on, chopper, high. Meggs will only make the play at first and tag the bag for out number 2. Runners advance to second and third. And we go to the top of the order, the 7th batter of the inning in Connor Owings. He struck out swinging back in the first.
But again, that ball was a big high chopper. He didn't get good wood on it. It was an easy play at first base, which again, I'm repeating myself, outside of Dunstan's base double, they haven't hit this young man hard yet. So I wouldn't replace him, even though he's given up 2 runs. I wouldn't take him out yet.
Owings to the plate. His first pitch from Quintana, a off-speed curveball drops in there for strike 1.
What is the ratio of balls to strikes? He didn't throw many balls.
27 strikes, 11 balls.
All right.
Pitch count a little high right now here in the second.
Yeah, but I mean the strikes are more than the balls, and that's what counts.
Couldn't have said it better than myself.
Well, thank you.
Here's the 0-1. Ground ball foul. Hit sharply down the first base line.
And see now that
was 0-2.
That was the breaking pitch. It was over the belt or belt high inside, and he really unloaded. That's pretty much the same pitch that Dunstan got the double on. However, as I always keep saying to you, if you're going to throw it low down by their ankles so they golf it, not take that good swing.
0-2 the count, 2 outs. Let's see, he comes back with the off-speed curveball.
He's looking for it low and inside.
Will be inside for a foul ball down the left field line. Owings caught the middle part of his bat on that pitch. Count remains at 0-2.
Well, Calabrese's line is setting up for a low inside pitch, which again he fouled off. But that's what he's looking for. That pitch that get him to uppercut. Get him to golf Palmer, Arnold Palmer.
Arnold Palmer?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his beverage.
His beverage?
Yes. The 0-2. Ooh, that could have been called strike 3. So an Arnold Palmer is a combination of iced tea and lemonade. And if you're feeling a little frisky, you can add some vodka in it too.
Oh, I do drink lemonade and iced tea combined, but
yep,
I did. It's an Arnold Palmer.
That is an Arnold Palmer, yes, sir.
Heck, I was 40 years old before I knew what a Shirley Temple was.
The 1-2 swung on left field, and that's drifting foul down the left field line. Count remains at 1-2 to Owings.
I remember we were somewhere and someone said, "Oh, I'll have a Shirley Temple." I said, what the heck are you talking about?
Now, that is a non-alcoholic beverage.
Yes, yes. What a beautiful girl she was. I mean, she was so talented when she was like 5 years old.
That's right. That's right.
She died of cancer, by the way.
What's up?
She died of cancer.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she had cancer.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball in the dirt.
Tag him, get him.
Calabrese will throw down to first in time to record the final out of the inning. Grizzlies tie the game on a balk and then an RBI single. We head to the bottom of the second, tied at 2 on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
The Hoosier Lottery began selling lottery tickets on October 13, 1989. Since then, the Hoosier Lottery has offered hundreds of different games, awarded prizes to millions of players, and given billions of dollars to the state of Indiana. The Hoosier Lottery's mission is to responsibly provide innovative and entertaining lottery games for the benefit of the citizens of Indiana. To learn more about the Hoosier Lottery, visit them online at HoosierLottery.com. The Hoosier Lottery, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
Free music, ticket giveaways, artist interviews, and jazz that cooks the blues away. The sounds are perking hot in the Jazz Cafe. I'm Paul Mattingly. I bring all that is jazz and focus on some of the best in area music and culture. Tune into the Jazz Cafe every Friday from 3 until 6 p.m. If online music is your obsession, catch us at WUEV.org. 91.5 UEV is your only place for jazz in the tri-state. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Chapter 16, would like to take time to say, Go Otters! The IBEW Local 16's jurisdiction includes 13 counties in southwestern Indiana, as well as Wabash County in Illinois. Its members are divided into several categories of electrical work, including inside construction, maintenance electric, residential wiring, and sign classifications. More information on IBEW Local 16 can be found online at IBEW16.net.
The 1-1, Cronin goes. Ground ball that will be past the diving Sakurai. Cronin heads over to third. He'll stop at third, and he goes past the sign. The throw to the plate. He is safe. And Ryan Long will be credited with an RBI. Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen on the call. The Otters and Grizzlies are tied at 2. One of those runs scored by Gateway was unfortunate from the balk from Matt Quintana.
During the between innings, our engineer back at the radio station just gave us some edifying news. That if you add some vodka to the
Arnold Palmer?
Arnold Palmer, yes, that it becomes a John Daly.
Yes.
So you people out there that are golfers, you probably know about John Daly. I never knew him, so I don't know anything about it. But congratulations, John Daly.
If he's tuning in.
Yeah.
Gould has a quick 0-2 count. His next pitch from Kalawaya is a ball outside. Or Kahaloa, the Hawaiian native.
You know, how many times do you find two Hawaiians on the same team?
Not a whole lot.
Not many, and you don't know what island they're from.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball inside. Kahaloa jams Gould for out number 1.
You know, there's 5 islands in Hawaii.
I do.
Yeah, the Big Island. And,
I've been to 2 of them.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Went to Maui and
where Honolulu?
I went to Honolulu too. I think I went to Oahu and Maui.
Maui. I stayed at Maui, $480 a night.
Was it worth it?
$32 for breakfast and an 18% gratuity. Holy mackerel.
Sounds like Hawaii.
Oh, and then you had to fight the pigeons or the birds off there because it was an open-air, dining area.
That's right. Well, Hunter Cullen will take a first pitch strike from Kahaloa, moving the count to 0-1. I actually went on vacation with the family to Hawaii. There are 10 of us. One of my favorite vacations I've taken with my family and my extended family, as the next pitch to Cullen is upstairs for ball 1. The cool thing about Hawaii, 1, you got to beware of the great white sharks. But if you're in a safe area, you go try surfing for the first time, you can catch a wave 100 yards out and ride it all the way in to shore. And that's one of the cooler things, as Hawaii is a big surfing state, as the count now is at 2-1 to Hunter Cullen with 1 out.
Well, let me say this. I went into the waters of Hawaii, the different islands, the 5 islands I visited. And, yes, I did test the waters. I went in, got my feet wet, and then went back and laid on the beach.
Okay. Did you enjoy yourself?
In a way, no.
No?
Too expensive.
All right, take away the finances out. Did you enjoy yourself?
No.
Okay.
It cost me, I had my daughter, her husband, and the 3 daughters, and my wife, of course, so that would made 7 of us.
Swung on, foul behind home plate. Count now moves to 3-2.
And we got tickets to the U.S., the Arizona, to go on the Arizona.
Yes.
And it was windy, so the Navy called off the little boat ride from the shore to the site. And so I said, well, let's go to the Missouri, the U.S. battleship Missouri.
Right. Payoff pitch, swung on behind home plate. Count remains full.
And because I was a veteran, I think I got if I'm not mistaken, I got the tickets for like $47 or $49 a piece. So, you're talking about $250. And, I mean, really, you've been on one ship, you've been on them all. And so, no, I didn't enjoy it, because everyone wanted to go on the Arizona.
Payoff pitch, popped up behind home plate once more. Count now remains full to Hunter Cullen. I don't know if you noticed last night, but Otters hitting coach Bobby Siegel was not in attendance. He is tonight. That might be the difference right now for the Otters.
Oh, what happened?
I do not know the
Wedding
answer.
or something?
I do not know the answer.
Oh, okay. Well, we had what's name covering first base when Andy got thrown out, and Boots went to third.
Phil Britton.
Bill Britton, yeah.
Swinging a drive, and it'll be dropping into right center field for a base hit. Cullen uses his speed, goes halfway around first, and now retreats back. It's a single for Cullen, his first hit in the series. Here in the bottom of the second with 1 out. To the plate now is Rob Calabrese, who had one of the 4 hits last night for the Otters. He singled to center field yesterday. He was 1 for 3.
I think Mr. Hunter Cullen out there is one of the unsung heroes of this team and doesn't get any recognition. He doesn't play every day, and I don't think he's appreciated. And I think he's one of the better ball players on this team.
His teammates appreciate him.
Do they?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, that's good.
Hunter brings good morale to the clubhouse.
Okay.
He's one of the more funnier guys on the team, too.
He's got a good lead over there at first base.
The first pitch to Calabrese drops outside, just a bit outside for ball 1.
Well, we know he's got speed. He patrols center field like state highway police, and anybody that speeds, he catches.
1-0 the count to Calabrese. Kahaloa from the belt throws over to first.
Ooh.
And Cullen will get back in the nick of time.
Well, he had a good lead, and like I said, I'm going to say he's got a 10-foot lead. Normally, I'm going to say 8-foot is a good lead, but he's extended it.
Takes pride in his speed, that's for sure.
Look at that.
He's got a good lead once more.
Yeah.
The 1-0 throw over to first once more, and getting back in time is Cullen. Count remains at 1-0 to Calabrese. Tie game at 2 in the bottom of the second here in Bossy Field against the Evansville Otters and the Gateway Grizzlies.
One way of telling when a runner on first has a good lead or not is when the pitcher throws the ball over.
1-0 upstairs for ball 2.
When the pitcher tries to pick you up and throws the ball over to first base, you have to dive back into first. You got a lead. If you come back and just tiptoe, you don't have any type of lead at all.
2-0 the count, 1 out. Cullen on first base. He singled. Tie game at 2 in the bottom of the second. Throw over to first once more. Now Cullen is unfortunately trying to get picked off, and there's a tag down to second base. Cullen is unfortunately out. Cullen caught in a rundown, and now there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the second.
I know, it's a Monday morning quarterback saying this, but I was about to say he's going to steal. He's about to run because he had the motor running. He didn't put it in gear yet, but he had that motor running. So I guess the pitcher observed it too and therefore whipped it over.
So 2-0, the count to Calabrese. Bases unfortunately empty here in the bottom of the second. The 2-0 pitch. Upstairs for ball 3. Count 3-0, a hitter's count for Calabrese, but he should not be afraid to take a strike.
And there goes the manager for some reason out to on a 3-0 count. What would be the problem?
I don't know. Let's see. Bill, today, in 1933, Lou Gehrig plays in his 1,308th consecutive game to break Everett Scott's mark as the Browns edge the Yankees 7-6 in 10 innings.
Didn't that guy play 2,000 and some odd, 2,140 some odd games before that guy in Baltimore broke it?
Cal Ripken?
Yeah, Cal Ripken broke it, but I mean that guy that you thought about that played for the Yankees.
Lou Gehrig?
Lou Gehrig, yeah. He a Columbia graduate, in case you know.
Really?
Oh, yeah, he went to Columbia University, which is not far from Yankee Stadium.
Okay. I wasn't smart enough to get in there. 3-0, swung on, there's a pop-up, and it'll be foul. And, Bill, I can agree with you. I do not recall an Otters hitter successfully hitting a baseball in a 3-0 count.
Well, thank you, and keep observing it because I've been observing it for 10 years. I don't know. They just remember we spoke about anticipation that they're swinging at the ball.
This pitch is swung on to left field. Going back is White to the wall. Can he make the catch? And he does at the warning track for out number 3. Calabrese got some decent barrel on that baseball, but it stayed in the yard. And we are tied at 2 after 2 here on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
The Tri-State Area Marathon service stations are proud supporters of the Evansville Otters. Marathon has over 5,100 Marathon-branded stations nationwide, and a full list of area Marathon stations and a list of daily gas prices are available online at myMarathonStation.com. Marathon provides products which support commercial, industrial, and retail operations. Marathon's slogan is Fueling the American Spirit.
Hey, it's Mixmaster Jones Capone. Be sure to check me out right here on 91.5 WUEV for Party Lights Uncut. Party Lights Uncut is the premier and longest running hip-hop and R&B show in the Tri-State. Every Friday and Saturday night, midnight to 2, Party Lights Uncut plays the best in contemporary hip-hop and R&B from today's top artists. So be sure to tune in right here on 91.5 WUEV. Party Lights Uncut.
This Evansville Otters broadcast is made possible through support from New Image Travel. New Image Travel provides motor coach charter service to the United States and Canada with pickup within a 150-mile radius of Evansville. A full list of New Image Travel's offerings can be found online at newimagecharter.com. New Image Travel can be reached toll-free at 1-800-432-6213. New Image Travel, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
Gone home.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. We have a tie game at 2 in the top of the third, excuse me. As the Otters starting pitcher Matt Quintana comes back on the mound, his first start as an Otter. To the plate for the Gateway Grizzlies will be Brent Sakurai, who is 1 for 1 today with a single, but then he was caught stealing on a nice throw from Calabrese down to Cronin back in the first.
You couldn't have asked for a better throw than what Calabrese did to second base. I mean, Cronin just left his glove on the bag, and the guy slid into it. In front of the bag, not on the bag, in front of the bag, and he slid into it. Someone's liable to text you and say, hey, what's going on with that guy?
Fair enough. 0-1 the count to Sakurai. Quintana, 32 strikes, 12 balls heading into this next pitch.
Okay.
Calabrese will set up outside. Here's the 0-1. In the dirt. Count even at 1 after the breaking ball from Quintana.
Well, as I said last inning, they didn't hit him hard outside of Dunstan's double. Those other 3 hits were just bloopers or whatever you want to call it. Texas Sliggers, Baltimore chops, or whatever.
Bloop, blip, and a bleeder?
Yeah, something like that, and a Band-Aid.
1-1. Breaking ball in there for strike 2.
So, that's an indication. All right, the guy, I remember being in Cleveland one night, and they're playing the Red Sox, and some guy they just signed from college, and they brought him up from Double-A, and he was at the game wherever the Double-A team was.
Here's the 1-2 pitch from Quintana. It looked pretty good on the breaking ball, and it'll be a bit outside for ball 2.
Anyway, he left and flew all night to get to Cleveland, and he pitched that afternoon. And the Red Sox jumped on him. They got I'm going to say 10 or 12 runs on the first 2 or 3 innings. And
2-2 swing and a miss on a high fastball away. 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the 3rd.
And you'd say, well, why didn't you take the guy out? Well, out of those all those runs, there wasn't one that was hit well. It was a blooper over the infield, a bleeder here and all, and they kept him in. And, of course, after that, then he went on to pitch. He was one of the winningest pitchers in the major leagues after that, but it was just one of those things. You say, why didn't he yank him? Well, hey, they didn't hit him hard.
To the plate now is Dustin Woodcock. He's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout swinging. First pitch from Quintana. That drops in there for strike 1.
It's different than the first batter gets up and hits one 350 feet off the wall for a double, and the next guy knocks the shortstop down with a line drive, and the third one hits one over the fence. You'll say, hey, why are you leaving that guy in? Well,
0-1. Foul behind home plate. Count now quickly at 0-2.
There's a difference between hitting the ball solidly and then just chip it away.
0-2 the count, 1 out.
As a football man, it's like an arm tackle versus putting your shoulder in and nabbing them.
You know what? Now that you bring that up, NFL players don't know how to tackle anymore.
No, they arm tackle. Or they're always trying to knock the ball loose.
Yeah, they don't keep their head up and wrap around the belt.
That's
0-2 popped up. Long might get there. He's on his horse and won't be able to get there as it bounces on the roof. Count remains at 0-2, and I don't want to go on off a big tangent here, but that's the thing that frustrates with me about today's NFL, that when I was taught in youth football, they told you to, wrap around the belt and get your hands on him. And now everyone's heads down trying to lower a big hit, and that's why there's all this precaution and all this other stuff. Unfortunately, the game has changed.
It has.
But that's another time and another conversation. The 0-2 pitch swung on to right field, and it'll be drifting foul. Count remains at 0-2 to Dustin Woodcock. He was 1 for 3 yesterday. He hit the home run in the 7th inning. That was controversial. So when talking to J.J. Gould about that call, he said the umpires called it a double, and then after the meeting they called it a home run, and that's what caused the Otters skipper Andy McCauley to be furious and unfortunately ejected from last night's game.
Well, that was the base umpire's call, because he's supposed to run out there and make sure. However, from our viewpoint, and again, I can repeat myself, and I know others felt the same way. I talked to my son-in-law, or my grandson, on the way home, and he saw it exactly the way I saw it. Right. And he said it bounced up, and he actually said he saw it. bounce up in the air. I said, well, you got good eyes. I didn't. But he said, oh, no, although I didn't know if it was in the ballpark or not. But he said, I did see the ball go up in the air.
Right.
But
now, some of the players thought it was a home run, but you got to give Hunter Cullen credit because he seemed to play that ball perfectly, thinking that it was going to be a hit. A hit, and the ball was going to be in play instead of a home run. 2-2 the count to Woodcock. Calabrese sets up outside. Here's the pitch from Quintana. It's a breaking ball in the dirt by the feet of Woodcock to make the count full with 1 out.
Well, just to delay it another second or two, I knew it was a home run because when I saw Hunter just stand there and wait, and I didn't know what he was waiting for, and then all of a sudden he turns around, he lobs the ball back in the infield. I said, oh, wait a minute. The guy, not Hunter Cullen, he would have been jumping up, leaping or something, and so I knew something was up. If you know your ball players.
Payoff pitch. Ooh. That's ball 4. It looked close from at least our point of view, but it'll be awarded ball 4 and a walk to Dustin Woodcock, working a 8-pitch count.
Well,
that is the first walk allowed by Quintana today. To the plate now is Luke Lowry. Lowry is 0 for 1 with a ground out that occurred in the second inning. Lowry is hitting .247 on the season.
What's going on here with the umpire? Does he want more balls, or is he talking to the is this the same umpire that threw
No, the guy who threw out Andy is on the base this time.
Oh, okay.
Happened to run into them in the umpire's room.
Oh, okay. Well, they were kind of mutual there at the beginning of the game. You know, they always complimentary shake hand. So I didn't know if it was the same umpire. Because they were going at it face to face. And once you get in an umpire's face, I'm quite sure you're not going to last long.
Right. This pitch is fouled towards the Otters dugout on the first base side. Count at 0-1 to Lowry. He's hitting .247 on the season. Lowry has 60 hits, 10 home runs, and 28 RBIs, and an on-base percentage of .332. The 0-1 pitch. Swung on, hit well to left field, going back his lane. He won't be able to get there. Bounces all the way off the wall. Rounding second, heading to third, and scoring is Woodcock. The throw to the plate won't get there in time. It is a go-ahead RBI double for Luke Lowry, and the Grizzlies are now on top by a score of 3-2. So that ball went over the head of Taylor Lane, went over to the left center field wall, and Woodcock, with speed, rounded second, and he was going to score no matter what. Now the Grizzlies have a 3-2 lead. To the plate is Sean Dunston Jr., who had the double back in the second in his first at-bat.
And scored the first run.
Off of the balk.
Off the balk.
First pitch. Drops in there for strike one. Counted 0-1 to Dunston Jr. Now, you said last night that his father was center field.
Yes.
Before he played shortstop.
Right. I mentioned that to Sean in that tonight, that his father, when he was in Johnstown, he was a center fielder. Yes.
The 0-1 pitch. Ripped right at Cronin. His only play is the first base for out number 2.
Now, if you notice, that was an uppercut swing. He got jammed on it. Again, good. When you're pitching against left-handers, throw them inside and low. Yeah, I mentioned to him about Johnstown, the All-American Amateur Baseball Tournament, and he said, I didn't know my father played center field. I said, oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said, but, everybody remembers Sean and Sr. as the shortstop for the Cubs. And I alerted him to the fact that he was involved in that big trade, that 13-team trade I said, your father, there goes a strike one. I said, your father was one of the mainstays that we, the Padres, tried to get him, and we were going to trade him to the Mets. And I said, Randy Johnson was the one we wanted from Seattle, but Sandy Alomar Jr., Randy Johnson, and Dunston Sr. were the three.
0-1 swung on to left center field. Playable for Lane. He makes the catch for out number 3. The Grizzlies tack on. Did you want to finish the story?
Oh, I'm just going to say that they were the three main players in that 30-player trade.
All righty. Grizzlies unfortunately take the lead 3-2 as we head to the bottom of the third. Here at Bosse Field, 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
Why Old National Bank? Old National Bank began in 1834 with just one room and a passion for helping people prosper. Today, we are honored and grateful to be the financial partner for so many businesses, families, and individuals like you. From our commitment to safety and security to our promise of service that will exceed your expectations, we want to be your bank for life. Old National Bank, member FDIC.
The local Pepsi bottling group features Pepsi Company products for distribution to retailers and vendors in the tri-state and would like to wish the Evansville Otters the best of luck in today's contest. The Pepsi bottling group has locations at 2605 West Marion Street in Marion, Illinois, 3081 Contronics Drive in Owensboro, Kentucky, and 11733 West Industrial Park Drive in Elberfeld, Indiana. Information on Pepsi products can be found online at PepsiCo.com. Pepsi, a proud supporter of the Evansville Otters.
1-0 Otters. Here's the payoff pitch from Carloa. Line drive to second center field. It's going to be a base hit. An RBI single for Taylor Lane. He's going to go for 2. The ball goes all the way to the wall. He's going to try to extend it to 3. There is no throw to third base, and standing at third with that triple is Taylor Lane. An RBI triple, and the Otters extend their lead to 2. Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. Otters are down by a score of 3-2 after the Luke Lowry RBI double to left field. To the plate now will be the Otters spark plug and David Cronin to try to get things going against once more offensively for the Evansville Otters. He was able to do that in the first inning, getting hit by a pitch, and then scored on the Ryan Long RBI single on the, remember when you called a hit and run, and that was the perfect way to describe how the Otters scored their first run to get David Cronin in. Now, when Cronin did score, he did go past the stop sign by Otters skipper Andy McCauley.
Yeah, he ran through the sign, yes.
And he was lucky enough to get in there safely.
Yes, he was. You know, when my brother was managing, I think, we got a complaint here about the mound. They're coming in and bringing some dried dirt.
I guess.
I guess they must have watered that mound too much prior to that.
I don't know.
Good. My brother he was managing Vancouver, and one of his players was a Cuban. And if you remember, I shouldn't say, do you remember? At that particular time, there was the revolt down there with Castro, in Cuba, and there was a lot of shooting and so on and so forth. Well, anyway, Jack would signal to the guy to hold up at third or coming in, and the guy just ran through Jack, was thrown out at home plate, and Jack got so disgusted, they went out and bought a blank gun, and he kept it in his back pocket. And then as the guy would come, would be on second, Jack would pull the gun out, and as the guy would come, he'd bang, bang, and he'd shoot the gun in the head, and the Cuban would jump into, slide into third because, again, of the shooting. And Jack said, that's the only way I could keep him stopped. He just went through the signs. So innovation, they call it.
I can't believe that, but you're telling a true story.
Oh,
that is a head scratcher to believe, Bill.
Well, there was a guy that played here, and I won't go through too much details except to say he was playing for Jack at Denver. And Jack was managing third, and they got into a big fight at the third base. Third baseman and him, they started battling a fist fight. And, of course, everybody ran out. And, of course, they jumped Jack, and one of his players come running out, and he started, peeling people off and swinging and protecting Jack. And after the fight was over, Jack said, well, thanks for helping me out. He said, Jack, I told you before the season, I'm the only one going to kill you. I wasn't going to let those other guys. So, you run into all kinds of guys.
First pitch to Cronin, drops in there for strike one.
When I played at Eau Claire, we had a guy who carried a gun all the time. Ex-paratrooper.
Next pitch to Cronin is a ball this time.
In fact, there was a catcher here in 1952 that when I was supposed to be here originally, I was signed here to the Evansville Braves in 1952. And that's another story, but the guy that did end up here used to carry a gun.
1-1. And that'll be dropping in there for ball number 2 from Cal Haloa. Otters down 3-2, bottom 3. 3 runs on 6 hits. For the Grizzlies, they have been playing small ball to score their runs. A lot of them have come off of singles. Yeah. And not only singles, but consecutive singles. The next pitch is outside for Cronin. Make that 3-1 the count with no outs.
When Ryan Long gets up, I'll tell you a quick story about
3-1. Drops in there for strike 2. Belt high inside to Cronin. Count now full.
Where he's from, Crandall, Texas. I'll mention something.
Alrighty. The payoff pitch. Be foul behind home plate.
That was a little high. It might have been not neck high, but above the letters, which I don't know if that would have been called a strike, so maybe David did the right thing by swinging, protecting that plate.
Count full to Cronin. Kahalo will now step off the rubber to gather himself. Cronin, the Chicago native.
Oh, by the way.
What's up?
David told me before yesterday's game.
He fouls this pitch behind
He said,
home plate.
tell Dave, he said, I only go to Giordano's once a month. I'm not a regular customer.
Okay. Fair enough.
So.
Probably one of the more stronger guys on this Otters baseball team, too.
Well, he's built strong.
Kaloa takes a deep breath. The payoff pitch.
Ball 4.
Cronin is on base for a second time this evening. One on a hit by pitch, and this time on a walk.
What was it? What is Cronin's percentage on base? About
entering today.
380.
377. They're close. Just off a bit.
I know.
To the plate now is Keith Griesaber. Keith, probably one of the more underrated athletes on this Otters baseball club, who was a high school soccer All-American. He was the Missouri High School Soccer Player of the Year his senior year of high school. But he decided that baseball was his true love. He committed to the University of Arkansas to play baseball.
Well, you look at the third baseman and the situation. We're down by 1. We need a run. This is the perfect place to bunt, especially where that third baseman's playing.
The 1-0. Check swing, and that'll be in the dirt for ball 2. And it's a good thing that you mentioned that, because a few days ago, when I think it was during the doubleheader, where Keith had a chance to lay a bunt to move a runner in scoring position.
And he popped slide.
Yep. And the next day, Otters skipper Andy McCauley talked to him about that situation and kind of explained to him and showed to him this is what you should be doing as far as your bat placement, your hand placement, and to execute at times situational baseball.
Well, all you have to do is put the bat there and let the ball hit the bat. You don't need to jab at it. All you do is let the ball hit the bat. But
2-0.
3-0.
All righty.
You know, you're talking about soccer. One day, Hightstown, New Jersey. I don't know if you know where that is. It's off Route 130.
That's more north. I'm not too familiar with North Jersey.
No, that's South Jersey.
That's South Jersey?
Yeah, 130 is...
that'll be a ball for the Greasaber, excuse me. Now runners on first and second for the Otters and no outs. And could you think of a better man for this situation for the Otters?
Okay, let me just tell you about it, though. Del Crandall, was a 19-year-old catcher that came here to Evansville, 1949. Bob Coleman was the man. Bob Coleman was the person that ran the Boston Braves organization. And Bob Coleman called up John Quinn and he said, I got a catcher here, belongs in the major leagues. Mr. Perini sent his private plane down here, went to the airport, picked up Del Crandall, and Del Crandall was in the major leagues the next day.
Oh, wow. Impressive.
Yeah, and a super guy Del Crandall is, and unfortunately had a couple children that had health problems.
Got it. First pitch to Ryan Long. Drops in there for strike one.
That was a good take one. I mean, it was look high and looked, my opinion, inside, high and inside, so he took it. But yeah, we got a perfect situation here.
Single ties the game?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what happens. Ryan went opposite field last time up for his RBI single. 0-1. That's a fastball this time inside for a ball one. And Kahaloa, both pitches were inside towards the belt of Ryan Long. Now, as he steps out of the batter's box, do you think Ryan adjusts, or do you think he's going to keep to his plate discipline and not swing at a pitch inside?
Well, it's to his advantage. He's got good power inside. He gets the bat around quick. So I would say no. Anything that's going to be up belt high over the plate or inside part of the plate, that is his power. So if he gets that pitch, he should unload on it. But who knows whether the pitcher's going to throw it there or not.
Right. Well, setting up on the left side of the rubber is Kahaloa. He fires a 1-1. That'll be inside to Ryan Long. Moves the count to 2-1 with no outs. Otters down by a score of 3-2 here in the bottom of the third. And you can think with one swing of the bat, the momentum can change rather quickly for the Otters' favor.
Well, that Bud Light patio looks good.
I heard
it was shy at the other day.
I heard it was going to be full tonight.
Oh.
The 2-1.
There it is.
Swinging a drive to left center field. Going back is Dunston to the wall. That ball is to the top of the left field wall. 2-run score. Long's going to go for third. Sliding safely. A 2-run RBI triple for the man from Crandall, Texas, as the Otters retake the lead.
You know, you want to give me a gold star because I think I deserve it. Didn't I tell you about a week or 10 days ago about how he used to go to left field, and that if he went there more, he'd be more productive? And since then, he has been going to left center, and he has been more productive. So I'll take the silver star instead of the gold star.
You got it, Bill.
You know,
and a steak dinner on me.
All right.
You gonna hold me to it?
No.
How about an ice cream?
I'll take the ice cream.
Okay.
But even though I don't like ice cream, I'll give it to my wife.
You don't like ice cream?
No.
Come on.
My wife, every time she comes to this ball game, she has to have an ice cream.
Looks like Lady Elizabeth and I have some pretty good taste then.
Yeah, she wanted to go to the game, but last night was too much for her.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well, to the plate is Elijah McNamee. Still no outs. Walk, RBI triple for 2 runs is Ryan Long, as the Otters now take the lead at 4-3. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball, low and away, makes the count now at 0-2 to Elijah McNamee.
Yeah, Ryan Long had only 1 triple prior to tonight. Now he's got 2. And now he's got 71 RBIs.
0-2, swung on foul into the seats. Count remains at 0-2 to McNamee.
Yeah.
So throughout the season, the most RBIs hit in one game by a single Otter was Hunter Cullen with 4 back in May. Now, Ryan Long might be on track to possibly tie him. Ryan had 3 the other night. He has 3 tonight. As they're swinging a drive to left field, blooping for a base hit. RBI single for Elijah McNamee. The Otters extend their lead to 5-0. Just a sweet swing, not too hard. Just blooped it to shallow left field, and that was just enough to drive in the run. And there's hitting situations the Otters practice and batting practice with Otters hitting coach Bobby Siegel. There are times where Bobby will say behind the plate, all right, the infield's in, and then they'll swing. All right, infield back. Then the hitters will swing. And then he'll say, move the runner, and then they'll swing. So depending on the situation, that was good, not only hitting, but more importantly, situational hitting, because the third baseman, Owings, was playing a bit on the edge of the infield grass at third to try to hold Long at third, and it allowed the ball to bloop over his head and allow Long to trot home.
Well, I'm going to make a comment. Is Mom and Dad listening to the game tonight?
I think they listen to every game, and they say hello.
Okay. Well, the point I'm going to make is you earlier said you didn't play high school baseball, you didn't play college, you didn't play professional. But I'll tell you what.
If I was a professional ball player, I wouldn't be sitting next to you.
Well, the point I was going to make is you are learning this game very, very quickly. You're observing it. You're picking up a lot of things. And you deserve maybe 2 gold stars because from the day one that you got to this radio booth to now, you have, I tell you, you went from being a freshman to a senior.
Oh, I appreciate that. Well, I've been talking to other broadcasters who have been either an affiliated or now in the major leagues. As the 0-2 to Lane will drop in there for a called strike 3. Out number 1 here in the bottom of the third. Otters extend their lead 5-3. They were down by a score of 3-2 entering the bottom of the third. But there are some people say that you are able to learn a lot more in the booth if it happens to be a losing team. But if you have a winning team, it's much more fun, and I think that's clear. The Otters, and it starts with the owner, Bill Bussing. He truly cares about this ball club, and in a way, it's his baby. That's what he really cares about it. He treats from the players to the stadium to the front office staff to guys like you and I. And everyone up here in the press box, he truly cares about everyone and everything involved with the Otters. There's a pop fly to shallow to third base, and not being able to make that catch is Owings, and a long and high strike 1 to Jack Meggs with a runner on first with 1 out.
Well, may I add to that comment you just said? My wife on the way home said, tell on the radio, Mr. Bussing, that she appreciates those lights. And she was pointing out to our grandson, she says, yeah, see these lights? It beautifies the ballpark. When you leave the ballpark after the game, the area is lit up, you can get to your car, and everything is nice. And Mr. Bussing is the person responsible for that.
Right.
He, which my wife was telling our grandson, you'll find him sometimes on the ladder after the game hanging the lights.
He was on the roof this morning.
Hanging lights.
I don't know about hanging lights. No, he was getting foul balls.
You can't believe, but the lights is one of the things that people really enjoy. And my wife said, don't forget to tell Bill. And so I know, Mom, you're listening to the game. I did as you told me, which I always do.
The 1-1 check swing, and Meggs appeared to be going around, and he does for strike 2.
Yeah.
But with a winning ball club, I think it just makes things a lot more exciting.
Well, it's more fun.
Right.
I don't know if it's more exciting, but it's more fun.
Now, for example, there's a guy in Biloxi, Mississippi, with the single-A affiliate of the Brewers, and he happened to be a broadcasting assistant with the St. Paul Saints, where Josh Allen is right now, and he happened to be with a winning ball club at the time, and right now he's with a winning ball club right now in the Southern League, and it just makes things a little bit more enjoyable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah. And I know probably, in all honesty, the 2006 Frontier League.
1-2 swing and a miss, and Meggs wishes he could have that swing back. It's a strike 3 and out number 2.
The championship we won in 2006, which I was a member of the coaching staff, was probably one of the...
There you are, right there.
Yeah, I know. But that was one of the most exciting years I ever had in baseball. It was a lot of fun. You had guys like Frankie Scott, the second baseman, Dale Mueller out there in center. You had the catcher from New York, and I can't come up with his name right now. But anyway, and then we had the guy that colored his hair all the time. I mean,
a true cast of characters.
Oh, yeah, and it was fun. And, in fact, they got me a couple times in the dugout. They were always doing it, putting matches in your shoes and lighting them and getting you a hot foot. And everyone would laugh, and I did too. And, of course, they got me a couple times.
First pitch to J.J. Gould is grounded foul down the third base line. Count goes to 0-1 to J.J. There are 2 outs. The Otters scored 3 runs here in the bottom of the third to take a 5-3 lead. A 2-run RBI triple by Long, and then the RBI single by Elijah McNamee. He's the lone runner for the Otters on first.
Yeah.
Gould is 0 for 1 today with a strikeout swinging. His 0-1 pitch from Kahaloa. The check swing in the dirt for ball 1.
Yeah, when you're having fun and enjoying it, you're a winner. It's when the pressure is there, they always say, you know, when the game's on the line, it's the pressure ball player that comes through.
Hunter Cullen on deck if we get there. The 1-1 pitch. It'd be a called strike 2, belt high away. JJ doesn't like the call as he's now in the hole at 1-2. Yeah, I was told that the Bud Light Line patio will have about roughly 50, 60 or so people out there. There's also a big crowd here at the first base tent. It's a very good day as far as attendance goes, and JJ swings at a high fastball, frustrated with himself as that's strike number 3. The Otters retake the lead, scoring 3 runs in the bottom of the third thanks to Elijah McNamee and Ryan Long. 5-3 Otters the score after 3 on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
The Evansville Otters would like to thank Sinorama Evansville for their support this season. Sinorama Evansville is a multi-application supplier of custom-made signs, banners, and decals in the tri-state. Located at 1300 North Royal Avenue in Evansville, Sinorama is open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. They can be reached by phone at 812-477-7763 and can be found online at sinorama.com/in-Evansville. Sinorama Evansville, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
Hello, this is Jared McIntosh, and I want to invite you and your family to a very special outdoor musical event. The Praise in the Park event is happening on August 24th from 11 to 1 at the Line Street Church of Christ, located downtown Evansville at 756 Line Street. We're going to have great food, great fun, and some of the best a cappella singing you've heard this side of the Midwest. Join us once again on August 24th at 756 Line Street, downtown Evansville. Praise in the Park.
Since 1994, Slays Restoration has been assisting tri-state residents clean up and restore their properties after disasters of all kinds. Located at 2121 Cotter Avenue in Evansville, Slays Restoration offers assistance for water damage, fire and smoke damage, mold and biohazard mitigation, complete reconstruction, and much more. Slays Restoration can be reached toll-free 24 hours a day at 1-888-776-8555. It can also be found online at slaysrestoration.com.
You're listening to exclusive coverage of Evansville Otters baseball on 91.5 FM WUEV Evansville.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune back on the call as the Otters now have a 5-3 lead for Matt Quintana. His first pitch to Wesley Jones is a pop-up, foul territory, first base side. Meggs will be there. Can he make the catch? Yes, he can for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out. Would you like a Frontier League scoreboard update?
Oh, yes, I would. How's the Miners doing in general?
Well, the one game that is important is a 6-6 tie in the top of the 8th between the Rascals of River City and Florence. And the Miners are winning 4-2 in the top of the 7th at Joliet, in the top of the 7th. This would be a next pitch swung on, foul behind home plate. Count moves to 0-1 to Greg White. The Lake Erie Crushers are leading the Schaumburg Boomers 2-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning in Schaumburg. And the Washington Wild Things are defeating the Windy City Thunderbolts 7-2 in the bottom of the 7th. That is your Frontier League scoreboard update. Fly ball, shallow right field, and McNamee and Cronin are there. And Cronin says, I'll make the catch for out number 2. To the plate now is catcher Zach Taylor, who's 0 for 1 today with a ground out. So the Irishman retired from baseball. So that leaves Taylor Lane is back here. So that leaves Jock, Randy, and
Shock.
Yep. Randy and Danny Urbeck in the minor leagues from the Otters. Swing and a miss for strike 1. 0-1 the count with 2 outs. In the next half inning, we'll see how all 3 of those guys are doing, as well as Josh Allen.
Yeah. You know, when you're in the major leagues, or, you know, I know you went to the Philly games all the time, and you could look up on the what they call it, the top of the roof of the stadium roof.
The vet?
Well, in all stadiums. Anyway, they would give you the constant running over the major league and scores.
Oh, yes.
And I don't know if you ever knew this, that you would see San Diego Padres, number 35.
0-2 swung on, foul down the first base line.
It has San Diego Padres, number 35, Los Angeles Dodgers, number 15. What the 35 and the 15 meant was that was the number of the for the pitcher.
Yes.
So all you had to do is look up and see that number 35 for the Padres was Andy Bennis.
Right.
And, you know, every time I saw it, and I knew Andy Bennis, it was a funny thing. First time I ever seen Andy Bennis was in
0-2 swung on, ground ball. Cronin's there, throws over to first, toss over in time for out number 3. A clean inning for Matt Quintana, and we head to the bottom of the 4th. 5-3 Otters the score on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
SRG Global, a Guardian company, would like to wish the Evansville Otters the best of luck in today's contest. Founded in 1932, SRG Global is one of the world's largest manufacturers of chrome-plated plastic parts for the automotive, commercial truck, and household appliance industry. Located locally at 601 North Congress Avenue in Evansville, SRG Global can be found online at srgglobal.com. They can also be reached in Evansville by phone at 812-477-6151.
The University of Evansville bookstore, located on the first floor of UE's Ridgeway Center, is your one-stop shop for University of Evansville apparel and gifts. The bookstore features various UE items, including clothing from Nike, J America, and Cotton Exchange. The bookstore is open Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30, and Saturday, 10 to 2. Parking is available on Walnut Street and in UE's H-Lot. The UE bookstore can also be found on the web at evansville.bkstr.com. The University of Evansville bookstore.
The Tin Fish Restaurant is located at 707 State Street in Newburgh, Indiana. Independently owned and operated, the Tin Fish menu featured salads and sandwiches, as well as seafood platters and combos, and seafood burritos, tacos, and burgers. The Tin Fish Restaurant is open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. They can be reached by phone at 812-490-7000. Visit them online at tinfishnewburgh.com. The Tin Fish Restaurant, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
2-1.
There it is.
Swinging a drive to left center field. Going back is Dunston to the wall. That ball is to the top of the left field wall. 2-run score. Wong's going to go for third. Sliding safely. A 2-run RBI triple for the man from Crandall, Texas, as the Otters retake the lead. Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call, and wanted to check in, and my dad says hello, as well as my mom.
Good.
But more importantly, he said that Hightstown is in
Central Jersey, outside of Trenton, up Route 130.
You said South Jersey, and I thought...
well, if I said South Jersey, I misspoke.
It's all right.
And Hightstown, well, anyway, Hightstown, all right, I might as well finish the story. Hightstown, I was with Don Kohler, who was working with the Milwaukee Brewers, and we were coming out of Pennsylvania, and it was late, about 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. He said, you have to hurry home? I said, no. He said, well, I want to check a ball player. Hopefully the game is going on. I said, all right. So we went to Hightstown. They were just starting the game. We're very fortunate. I said, who are you here to look at? He said, I can't tell you. You know, one scout to another. I can't tell you. Right. I said, okay. So, anyway, it got to be the 6th inning, and I said, I don't know who you're looking at, but I tell you what, I like that third baseman. And so I went on home, and I called the school to find out when they were playing again, and the next home game, I went to see them. And I remember I liked them, and that night I said, Jack, I saw a $100,000 ball player who'll play in the majors. And I said, I'm going to draft him. So I went and called him, and next day I went to see him play. And after the game, I sat down with him, and I said, son, I said, if you were drafted, would you sign a baseball contract? He said, no. I said, you mean if the Yankees drafted you, you wouldn't sign? No. The Mets drafted you? No. The Phillies? No. He said, I'm a soccer player. I'm not a baseball player. I'm a soccer player.
Oh, wow.
He went to Rider College on a soccer scholarship.
Look at that. You know who else played soccer is Hunter Cullen as he takes ball 4.
Yeah. Okay. Now, to finish the story, he goes to Rider College, and the Rider coach knows about him, asks him to come out for spring baseball. Anyway, now he's a junior, and I said to him, Ed, his name was Ed Whited.
Okay.
And I said, Ed, now, if you were drafted, would you sign? He said, yeah. And he said, my coach says I'm a first-round draft, and I should get $100,000. Well, to cut the story, he was drafted, and the next thing you know, he was playing with the Atlanta Braves.
Okay.
Well, I lost a part. The shortstop for
first pitch to Calabrese in there inside for strike 1.
The shortstop for the Rider College was Bill, former umpire, Bill. Anyway, his son was a #1 draft for Texas, and of course then ended up playing in the major leagues as well.
Oh, throw over to first. It goes away. Cullen on his horse has his second. He's going to round second, head to third. McCauley puts up the stop sign, and the attempted pickoff move, throw over to first, is overthrown. And now Cullen goes from first to third. Another runner in scoring position for the Otters.
And that was an error on the pitcher. Cullen never stopped. But anyway, Bill, whatever. He was a major league pitcher with the Yankees, later American League umpire, and he had cancer, and he was recuperating from cancer, so he wasn't working in the majors.
0-1. That's a wild pitch. Cullen coming home. No throw to the plate. The Otters tack on another run on the speed of Hunter Cullen.
So we were in Pennsylvania, one of those Philadelphia, outside of Philadelphia schools. I think it was in Allentown or Bethlehem, one of those colleges there. Whatever, it was a Saturday morning. And Bill, the umpire, Bill Kunkel. Oh, there we go. Bill Kunkel. And he said, I'm going for coffee. Anyone wants coffee? It must have been about 40, 50 scouts. Everyone said, oh, yeah, you know. And so he went and he got coffee for all of us.
1-1 swing and a miss on Calabrese. Moves the count to 1-2 on a breaking ball that went down and in. New pitcher for the Gateway Grizzlies. And I want to say his name correctly. It'll be Mr. Stroud. Nick Stroud from Dalton City, Illinois. He played for the Miners last year.
So anyway, Bill Kunkel says, you scouts are here, and you're all looking at my son. And he said, yeah, he's a major league player, but he said, you're all looking at my son, yet the best ball player on this entire field is the third baseman, Ed White. And he said, none of you know that. And that's when my good friend said, no, Bill McEwen had said, watched him in high school and said he was a major leaguer. And anyway, he went on to play in the majors. Both of them went on to play in the majors.
Next pitch from Stroud, fastball down and in for ball 3.
Yeah, Kunkel and Ed White. Yep, okay. Both of them played in the major leagues.
That's
one
awesome.
Third base, one shortstop.
That sets up half your infield right there.
Yeah, I mean, there's not many. Well, it's like Seton Hall. If you go back to Seton Hall.
Payoff pitch to Calabrese. Whoa, that's upstairs for ball 4.
You go back to Seton Hall, and the Red Sox had the first baseman from Seton Hall. The shortstop was from Seton Hall, and they had a pitcher from Seton Hall, all playing with the Red Sox at the same time. Now, you don't get many colleges that have that many players on a major league team.
So Calabrese is awarded a walk. Back-to-back walks thrown by Stroud. An unearned run comes in as Cullen, who walked to begin the bottom of the 4th. There's an overthrow from Stroud to Lowry at first. Cullen then went from first to third, and then on another wild pitch, he takes off home. Otters extend their lead 6-3.
As you say, if you're having a good time, which we are up here, then they're having a good time down there in the field.
I can agree.
I hope it continues.
First pitch to Cronin, who was hit by a pitch and walked. He has 2 runs scored and has definitely increased his on-base percentage. He has a 1-0 count. Stroud from the right side of the rubber takes a deep breath, fires a 1-0 pitch. Swung on, hit to left field, playable for White. He'll make the catch in left field for out number 1. It was funny. I was talking to some of the guys last night. We happened to go out after the game, and in the extra.
Of course, you went to Denny's for pancakes and coffee.
Yes.
Okay.
That's where we went.
Right.
Anyway, Taylor Wright was talking to me. He goes, the stadium was empty in game number 1 of the doubleheader, and he goes, Dave, I could hear you as I was pitching.
Really?
Yeah. He goes, because the stadium was kind of empty towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
And he goes, Dave, I could hear you, and honestly, it got me off track. He goes,
no kidding.
He goes, he heard right from the belt. He goes, wait, why am I hearing you right now? Swung on, hit well to left field.
Watch the left fielder.
And he turns around as that ball is out of here.
Did you see the left fielder?
He just turned around.
He just turned his head. He never took a step. He knew from the crack of the bat it was gone.
Keith Griesaber with his 2nd home run of the year. His first home run since the month of May. If we want the exact date, his first home run since May 24th. And it's a beauty to extend this Otters lead to 8-3.
In all honesty, I don't know where it went. I know it went to left field somewhere, but whether it went over the Pepsi sign or the head sign or...
It was more the wow sign.
Or the wow sign, I don't know. All I know is when I heard the crack of the bat, I watched the left fielder. He turned his head to watch it float over or fly over that fence. He never even turned his body. That's when, in other words, he's telling you, boy...
Ripped into center field for a base hit. Ryan Long is now 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs.
Yeah.
You ask yourself, where was this last night?
Where was it? Last night and with the Rascals. We had that one game with the Rascals, but if we had hit the ball against the Rascals all that game, we would have won 3 out of 3 and, put them deeper in the hole.
So we have another mound visit. Keith Grieshaber took the first pitch and unloaded on that fastball from Stroud. There might be a call to the bullpen. Phil Warren out, and he takes the baseball, possibly from his reliever Stroud. So here's how this inning started. Walk to Hunter Cullen, and then on an overthrow from pitcher Stroud to the first baseman Lowry goes towards the warning track. So Cullen used his speed, went to first to third, and then on the next pitch it was wild behind home plate. Hit off the tip of the glove of Taylor, and that allowed Cullen to come home without a throw. Another walk to Rob Calabrese. Cronin was flied out to left field for out number 1. Grieshaber unloads for a 2-run homer, his second of the year. Ryan Long then follows that one with a first pitch single up the middle to center field. It is now 8-3 Otters. McNamee to the plate. He is 1 for 2 with an RBI single. On Breast Cancer Awareness Night, both the Otters jerseys are pink. The first, second, and third bases are spray-painted pink. And there will be post-game fireworks as well as a jersey auction after the game.
You say, where were we the other day? If I recall, during a doubleheader, Mr. Ryan was 4 or 5 for 6, or 4 for 5 or 5 for 6, something like that. And, I know we got 4 because he had 2 doubles. Two of those 4 or 5 hits were doubles.
He had 3 RBIs in game 1 and then 1 in game 2.
Okay.
He was able to drive in the run back in the extra innings, but that was an unearned run, so that therefore
that was the 8-6 game, where he scored in the 9th inning. He drove in the run.
Yeah,
yes.
So, but unfortunately, that didn't count as an RBI because the runner started on second base.
Yeah.
So the count now at 2-1. Runner on first in Ryan Long. But yeah, some of the pitchers were able to hear us from the booth.
That's amazing.
Because the echo from the bowl was able to go out to the field.
Wow. So in other words, I think I'm a little louder than you, so they're hearing me.
Well, it's funny when I called Sam during the All-Star break, the next pitch to McNamee is in the dirt for ball 3, and he said there are times where the stadium will be empty, and your call will echo from the inner bowl out to the field, and sure enough, I'm going to have to text Sammy and say, hey, that just happened. You're right.
Oh, okay.
He says hello, by the way.
Sam.
Sam does.
I tell you what, I know I throw bouquets your way, and I think you deserve them.
3-1, ball 4 inside to McNamee. No, I can agree. Sam loves the game of baseball, and he knows how a game should be called, and he has his own style. But the thing is, if everyone was the same, then no one would distinct themselves amongst others. So I understand that everyone has a different style, and the way Sam called it, I couldn't agree more. He was very good. He knew a lot of the technicalities of the game. He knew the situations. He was able to predict things, as you noted throughout the season, before they were to happen. As you know, he would notice whether a infielder or outfielder would cheat in or out before the ball was hit. That type of deal. So no, I completely understand, but I think everyone has their own style, and I try to stick to me.
Well, you're the 9th guy I've worked with up here in the booth, and Mike Rumdowski was here for 6 years, and really, he was number 1. And Sam came along last year, and he was a carbon copy of Rumdowski. And again, you called it. He would see on the crack of the bat, he'd say, "Oh, look at that! The right fielder moved in a couple of feet or a couple steps, and then all of a sudden it's over his head, and he had to go retrieve it. The guy got a double. He'd say, "Oh yeah, but you see, he saw that right fielder move in. Most people don't see all those things, and Sam could predict the game. He knew the game, and he had his own style." And like I said, out of the 9 guys I worked with, and Mike and Sam were the 2 best. And you're working your way toward that.
Oh, I appreciate that. Now, I think we just go back to what we were talking about earlier. When the team's winning, it just makes it even more fun. And I tried to add, the enthusiasm. I wake up to a quote every day that goes by, "Nothing great has ever been achieved by Without Enthusiasm by Ralph Waldo Emerson. I don't know if you're a fan of poetry, but that's one of the quotes that stuck by me throughout my high school career until now. When I was a senior in high school, I had an English teacher who loved Shakespeare, and she loved quotes. And every week we were told to not only write down quotes but memorize them because we were going to be quizzed on them. And the point of that one was because these quotes that she made us memorize, I think there were like 30-something quotes that we had to memorize.
"'Tis this a dagger before me, I see thee still, but feel thee not." Macbeth.
I think I may have had to memorize that one.
"Water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. Water, water everywhere, but oh, the boards did shrink." Shakespeare.
You're taking me back to senior year of high school. That was my least favorite class. But
And yet, that's what I failed.
I managed to pass by with a B, and I still don't know how. To the plate now is Taylor Lane, as it is now 8-3 Otters, 8 runs on 7 hits, 3 runs on 6 hits for the Grizzlies.
And we have a new pitcher out there.
And Mr. Boyle. First pitch to Lane will be inside for ball 1. And we look up the stats of Boyle quickly. Patrick Boyle, 4.88 ERA, 31.1 innings pitched, 29 walks, 43 strikeouts. He has a 1-0 count to Lane, and here is pitch number 2. That's just a bit outside.
I know those first 2 pitches to Lane were mighty, mighty close. They were called balls, but to me, they could have been called strikes.
That's the other thing with baseball. You really don't know what a strike zone is until the game goes on.
It depends on the umpire.
Yeah, so what you think is a strike might be a ball, as this pitch is foul behind home plate. And then other times, what you think is a ball, sometimes, unfortunately, is a strike.
Well, you see, you got to learn your umpire. And every day is different. The umpires are different. This guy might call the high pitch a strike. So after you've been up there, not only you but others, they've been called strikes on the high pitch. From there on in, when you have 2 strikes, you better swing at that pitcher because the umpire is going to call a strike. Another guy might call the pitch low.
2-1 is a fastball outside, moving the count to 3-0. 3-1.
And he may be high and he may be low, but you always said if the umpire is consistent, then he's doing a good job. He may have a low, call the ball's low, but if he's consistent for both teams, he's doing a good job.
The 3-1 pitch to Taylor Lane. Ground ball up the middle, off the pitcher's mound to second for 1 to first, and that is a 4-3 double play to end the inning. The Otters tack on 3 more runs, extending their lead to 8-3. Back to the 5th after this on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
Injuries are inevitable. It doesn't matter if you're playing baseball, walking the dog, or falling from a ladder. Injuries happen. When they do, Tri-State Orthopedics offers treatment for sprains, strains, and fractures by medical specialists. Tri-State Orthopedics is located at 225 Cross Lake Drive in Evansville, just north of the Lloyd and I-164. Tri-State Orthopedics can be reached by phone at 812-477-1558. Its urgent care line is 812-474-OUCH. Tri-State Orthopedics, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
The Pizza Brick Road always goes to Tyroni's. I'm in the mood for pizza and I'm ready to go. The Pizza Brick Road goes to Tyroni's. So follow me down the Pizza Brick Road. Road down to Tyroni's. The Pizza Brick Road. The Pizza Brick Road always goes to Tyroni's.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this, or
Evansville Otters baseball.
The Pizza Brick Road always goes to Tyroni's. I'm in the mood for pizza and I'm ready to go. The Pizza Brick Road goes to Tyroni's. So follow me down the Pizza Brick Road. Road down to Tyroni's. The Pizza Brick Road. The Pizza Brick Road
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Indiana 811.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. We are in the top of the fifth. The Otters are up 8-3, and that is the parents of Preston. As it's nice for everyone to come out into the crowd and at Boston Field wearing and supporting their pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Night. Matt Quintana out on the mound for the Otters in his first start in Evansville. The strikeout leader in the Frontier League this season. An important acquisition for the Otters this year as they hope to make a postseason run.
Well, he started the game off with 2 strikeouts in the first inning, and then he followed it up with a strikeout later in the second and third inning. He got a strikeout, and other than that, he hasn't done much as far as strikeouts. And again, who cares if he strikes everyone out as long as he gets them out?
Right. 0-1 the count to Connor Owings. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball down and in, moving the count quickly to 0-2. So I told you I was going to check on the minor league update.
Right.
Randy Wynn, who was promoted to Dayton in Single A for the Reds, is now back in the rookie affiliate, the Greenville Reds.
Oh, he got demoted again.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he got called up just for to pitch in one game or something. You know, in the minor league, go ahead.
He had 2 appearances. He went 4.1 innings.
Okay.
Allowed 7 hits, 4 runs, all 4 of them earned.
That's why he went back.
Yeah. He swung on, ground ball, good ground ball fielded by Meggs. Covering the bag is Quintana for out number 1.
You know, a lot of times an organization will bring a Double-A guy up to pitch a game in Triple-A, and as well as you might bring up a Triple-A or to pitch a certain game in the major leagues, and then, you know, send them back down, but they're up there for one game only.
So his Greenville and rookie affiliate for the Reds, he has a 3.62 ERA in 10 games, 1 start, 37.1 innings pitched, 36 hits. He's allowed 16 runs, 15 of them are.
And so you're the batter, and he throws you a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. The next fastball may be 88. So you're waiting for that 96, and you're starting to swing, and the ball hasn't even reached it yet. Mm-hmm. And then he'll give you an 88-mile-an-hour curveball, and then a 78-mile-an-hour curve. The object is keep the batter off stride. Don't let him get the timing. And that's what makes a pitcher very effective.
The next pitch from Sakurai moves down and away to even the count at 2.
So if you're going to throw 95 constantly, no, you're not going to. You know, when I started in pro ball back in the 50s, early 50s and the late 40s, not that I was there, but talking about the late 40s and the early 50s, there were so many minor league pitchers in A and D and C and B. They all threw 90, 95, but they never knew where the ball was going. I mean, there was one guy, the Braves had, that actually threw a ball up into the press box. So you never knew. They were wild.
Right.
And a batter, you feared for your life sometimes.
2-2 swung on to right field. Going back is McNamee to the warning track. And he makes the catch for out number 2.
He looked good going out there for that ball. He had good insight of where the ball was. He ran to the ball where the ball was going to land, reached and got it. So pretty good play out there.
Mm-hmm. All right, Danny Urbeck. He has a 2-0 record, 3.38 ERA, 21.1 innings pitched. Has allowed 18 hits, 8 earned runs, 31 strikeouts, 4 walks. He has a whip of 1.24. That's walks hits per inning. That's pretty good. He, for his first time in affiliated baseball, is 0-1. Here's an 0-1 count now to Woodcock. Let's see. He had 40 strikeouts total in his minor league career.
What about my boy
Josh Allen?
Josh Allen.
All right, I'll check on him in a minute.
Great, one of the greatest ball players ever wore an outer uniform.
All right.
And had the personality to go with it, and great parents as well.
Oh, that next pitch from Quintana is away and bouncing behind home plate for ball 2. 2-1 the count to Woodcock. So 77 games played this year for Josh Allen. 79 hits, 17 doubles, 2 triples, 15 home runs, 51 RBIs, 4 stolen bases. He has an average of 277, an on-base percentage of 355, and he's slugging at 509.
Yeah, I think the last time he gave me a rundown, he had 14 home runs, and I think he was like 270 or 269 or something like that. So he's maintaining that average. Yeah, he's a good kid. He's a hard-nosed kid.
And let's see how Jacques is doing.
Jacques. French. Parlez-vous français?
Yes.
Très bien.
2-1 the count to Woodcock. Quintana from the left side of the rubber fires a 2-1. Swung on foul behind home plate. Count now even at 2. So Jock is also in Greenville, so he's with Randy Wynn. He has pitched in 1 game for the Greenville Reds. 3 innings. He's allowed 1 hit and 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. He was with the Arizona League Reds, where he had 42 strikeouts and 10 walks and an ERA of 4.08. So in his minor league career right now, he has a 3.76 ERA in 12 games. 3 of them were starts. He has a save, 38.1 innings pitched, allowed 18 runs, 16 of them earned, 11 walks and 45 strikeouts, and a whip of 1.07.
Well, we wish them luck. You know, anyone that puts on the uniform, you wish their desire, whether it's here in Little League or with the Otters.
Swing and a miss on a nasty breaking ball from Quintana for strike 3 to Woodcock. Gets the Otters out of the inning. We now head to the bottom of the 5th. 8-3 Otters the score on the Otters Radio Network, Otters Digital Network, 91.5 WEV.
The Evansville Otters would like to thank the Evansville Courier-Press for their support and coverage of Otters baseball. The Evansville Courier-Press provides news, sports, and weather coverage to the Tri-State, both in a print and online edition. The Evansville Courier-Press can be found online at courierpress.com, as well as on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. The Evansville Courier-Press, a member of the Journal Media Group.
GD Ritzy's is a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball. GD Ritzy's menu features hamburgers, grilled chicken sandwiches, old-fashioned peanut butter and jelly, and ice cream. With 3 Evansville locations: west at 4810 University Drive, on the north side at 4320 North 1st Avenue, and on the east side at 601 North Green River Road. GD Ritzy's is open from 10 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. GD Ritzy's, a proud supporter of the Evansville Otters.
Heritage Federal Credit Union has 7 full-service branches in both Evansville and Newburgh, serving more than 38,000 members. Membership is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, or attends school in Vanderburgh or Warwick County. Heritage Federal Credit Union offers mortgage and consumer loans, checking and savings accounts, as well as online banking for members. Heritage Federal Credit Union can be reached toll-free by phone at 1-800-858-1693. It can also be found online at hfcu.info.
As they're swinging a drive to left field, blooping for a base hit. RBI single for Elijah McNamee. The Otters extend their lead. Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. Jack Meggs to the plate, followed by J.J. Gould and Hunter Cullen for batters 6, 7, and 8 in the order. Boyle back on the mound, and Meggs will swing at the first pitch. It's a ground ball to the first baseman. Can the pitcher get there in time? He does in the nick of time for out number one. One pitch, one out to Meggs.
Now, you notice that first baseman, he made that play possible all because it deflected off his glove but went up into his gut or chest, whatever you want to say it, and deflected onto the ground. He just picked the ball up and lobbed it in. Now, if he didn't have his body in front of that ball, that would have went into right field.
So now J.J. Gould to the plate. He is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts today. Batting 194 on the season with 36 hits and 21 RBIs. His first pitch from Boyle drops in there for strike one. 0-1 the count, 1 out. Otters scored 2 in the second, 3 in the third, or 2 in the first, 2 in the third, 3 in the third, 3 in the fourth to have a commanding 8-3 lead. 8 runs on 7 hits. The Grizzlies have 3 runs on 6 hits. Gould quickly now goes to a count of 0-2. And the pitcher last night, Jordan Barrett, for the Gateway Grizzlies, he pitched a 3-hit shutout last night against these Otters in 7 innings. 0-2 swing and a miss. And that's strike number 3, out number 2.
Did you want to say where the ball was?
It was high and upstairs.
One of those high fastballs out of the strike zone.
To the plate now is Hunter Cullen. Hunter is 1 for 1 with a run scored, a single, and he came home on the wild pitch thrown by Stroud to give the Otters their 6th run, of the game. First pitch to Cullen, swinging a drive to right center field. Going back is Woodcock to the wall, and now making the catch is Dunston at the last second for out number 3. I thought Hunter was going to take that ball for a ride out of the park.
And it kind of died. It didn't have that zip to it, and it gave Dunston plenty of time to get in position to catch it. No, it didn't have that drive.
So we're going to head to the 6th. 8-3 Otters the score on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
The Hoosier Lottery began selling lottery tickets on October 13, 1989. Since then, the Hoosier Lottery has offered hundreds of different games, awarded prizes to millions of players, and given billions of dollars to the state of Indiana. The Hoosier Lottery's mission is to responsibly provide innovative and entertaining lottery games for the benefit of the citizens of Indiana. To learn more about the Hoosier Lottery, visit them online at HoosierLottery.com. The Hoosier Lottery, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Chapter 16, would like to take time to say, Go Otters! The IBEW Local 16's jurisdiction includes 13 counties in southwestern Indiana, as well as Wabash County in Illinois. Its members are divided into several categories of electrical work, including inside construction, maintenance electric, residential wiring, and sign classifications. More information on IBEW Local 16 can be found online at IBEW16.net.
The Tri-State Area Marathon service stations are proud supporters of the Evansville Otters. Marathon has over 5,100 Marathon-branded stations nationwide, and a full list of area Marathon stations and a list of daily gas prices are available online at myMarathonStation.com. Marathon provides products which support commercial, industrial, and retail operations. Marathon's slogan is Fueling the American Spirit.
Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. 8-3 Otters the score, with Matt Quintana back on the mound for the Otters, the newly acquired pitcher in the trade with the Joliet Slammers. First pitch to Luke Lowry, drops in there for strike one. Lowry today is 1 for 2 with an RBI single, or RBI double, I should say, that occurred in the third. 0-1 the count to Lowry. Quintana comes set from the belt, fires an 0-1. Swung on, foul behind home plate. Count moves to 0-2.
And how many strikeouts did you say the pitcher had?
Coming
Quintana? Yeah, he had 100 and some. What was it?
If I want to say correctly, it was 110. Let me double check.
110, so he got 5 tonight. That should, again, keep him in the lead in the Frontier League.
0-2. Ripped to left field. Going back is Lane to the wall. It goes off the top of the left center field wall. And coasting in for a double is Luke Lowry, his second double of the evening.
Was that the second one he hit the left field over the Lane's head, if I'm not mistaken?
It was. To the plate now is Sean Dunston Jr. He doubled back in the second and scored on a balk by Quintana. And then he grounded out to Cronin in the third.
You notice he's got something in his back pocket. It's protruding out. I don't know what it is. It couldn't be his hat.
It might be a glove that covers his hand when he's on the base path.
Oh.
First pitch.
Whatever it is, it's bulky.
Yeah, sometimes I think Keith wears it from time to time as well. It's one of those, I guess, a hand protector to make sure your fingers don't jam with the base path.
Oh, okay.
The 1-0 to Dunston is outside for ball 2. Another check around the Frontier League scoreboard. The Southern Illinois Miners are defeating the Joliet Slammers 5-2 in the top of the ninth in Joliet, so Joliet will have their last at-bats. The Florence Freedom are now up 7-6 over the Rascals of River City in the bottom of the ninth. So, this is a shot.
There goes one.
Right field, going back is McNamee to the wall. He climbs and won't be able to get there. And that is a moonshot to right field by Sean Dunston Jr. And we now have a 3-run lead for the Otters. Dunston, images of his father as he rips that one to right.
Yeah, he's got a double and a home run today, and both times he's really put the bat on the wood. Now I would say, I kept saying earlier that Mr. Quintana wasn't being hit hard, even though he gave up some hits. I'm saying now they are hitting him hard.
Well, I think Dunston has the best hard hit balls off Quintana.
Oh, yeah.
Because he had the double, I believe that was to left center, and now he just hit the 2-run homer. Dunston, one of the few all-stars that the Gateway Grizzlies had this year.
Well,
and his speed is also there, too.
I'll tell you what, am I talking with him? First of all, he's a very good-looking young man. I mean, I was really surprised. I mean, he was really good-looking. And what a pleasant personality he had. And his father was similar as far as personality was concerned. Very, very down-to-earth. And I guess it shows.
Now, this pitch is swung on and fouled on the left field line.
Now, that was tagged as well. So, do we have someone warming up? Yes, okay.
We do.
Okay.
Drew Byer.
Okay. See, now, this is when, like I said, when they start hitting you hard, that's when you say, hey, when you're not missing many bats, you better have someone ready.
68 strikes, 25 balls thrown by Quintana. Shack swing, did he go? No, says the base umpire, and Creel Waddle.
Yeah, no, there was no way he went. He didn't even rotate the hips. Always watch the hips. That gives the batter away. It's not the shoulders, it's the hips.
That's the same thing Chubbs Peterson said.
Is that right?
Yeah.
He copied me?
Yeah. Here's now a payoff pitch to Andrew Daniel. Here it is. Swung on, hit well to center field. Going back is Cullen. To the warning track. Makes the catch for out number one.
I would say after this inning, I'd say what's the name? Matt, you did a great job. And keep it up, but we're going to put someone else in because, the traveling got to you. So
No worries. I think when you start with a new team, things might be rusty a bit, but we know the strikeout potential is there. That's what he was known for. And maybe in his next start with the help of Max Peterson, who's done an excellent job with this Otters pitching staff. The Otters have the second best ERA in the league. They lead the league in strikeouts as well. They also lead the league the second least amount of hits allowed, or the second least amount of hits allowed in the Frontier League. So a lot to learn from being here in Evansville, and I'm sure Matt Quintana will take in the advice that Max Peterson will have to say. The 1-0 is swung on to right field. Going back is McNamee, and he makes a diving catch for another out. Wow, what a play.
I can't believe that. I cannot believe that. That was right on the foul line, an outstretched body. I was waiting to see the guy end up at third base, possibly.
He robbed Jones of a double.
A double, yeah, I'll tell you what, this guy's showing me something out there in right field. Those catches he's made, and he's done pretty good with the bat. And
he makes a dive.
Meggs over the first base, I'd say, yeah, we got a pretty good outfield, and leave Meggs on first base, yes.
Okay. First pitch to Greg White. That'll be in there for strike one from Quintana. Trying to go at least 6 innings and allow the Otters bullpen to do the rest. The Otters hold now a 3-run lead after the 2-run home run. I believe that was the first pitch from Quintana over the right field wall. 0-1. Inside for ball one.
You mean Dunstan's home run?
Yes.
Yes. And he unloaded. I mean, that was a quick bat. Boom.
Yeah.
It's gone.
By the snap of the fingers, that ball was out of here.
Yeah, and you notice, you're talking about Big Mac. What a great play. Did you see how far he climbed that fence?
Yes.
I mean, he had his entire half of his body up over the fence.
Maybe if he had a ladder out there, he could have
gone higher?
Yeah, and made the catch.
You don't see many people put their entire upper body part up over a fence, especially that's got to be a 8-9 foot fence.
I think so.
Yeah.
A 1-2 to White.
Strike.
A cold strike 3 to get out of the inning. Matt Quintana making his Otters debut tonight on Breast Cancer Awareness Night. The 2-run home run by Sean Dunston Jr. makes it a 3-run lead for the Otters. We head to the bottom of the 6th here at Bosse Field, 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
This Evansville Otters broadcast is made possible through support from New Image Travel. New Image Travel provides motor coach charter service to the United States and Canada with pickup within a 150-mile radius of Evansville. A full list of New Image Travel's offerings can be found online at newimagecharter.com. New Image Travel can be reached toll-free at 1-800-432-6213. New Image Travel, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
Why Old National Bank? Old National Bank began in 1834 with just one room and a passion for helping people prosper. Today, we are honored and grateful to be the financial partner for so many businesses, families, and individuals like you. From our commitment to safety and security to our promise of service that will exceed your expectations, we want to be your bank for life. Old National Bank, member FDIC.
The local Pepsi bottling group features Pepsi Company products for distribution to retailers and vendors in the tri-state and would like to wish the Evansville Otters the best of luck in today's contest. The Pepsi bottling group has locations at 2605 West Marion Street in Marion, Illinois, 3081 Contronics Drive in Owensboro, Kentucky, and 11733 West Industrial Park Drive in Elberfeld, Indiana. Information on Pepsi products can be found online at PepsiCo.com. Pepsi, a proud supporter of the Evansville Otters.
0-1. That's a wild pitch. Cullen coming home. No throw to the plate. The Otters tack on another run on the speed of Hunter Cullen. Welcome back to Bosse Field, home of the Evansville Otters. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. The Otters and the Grizzlies here at Bosse Field on Breast Cancer Awareness Night. We have a score of 8-5 in favor of the home team in Evansville. Rob Calabrese to the plate, and he wanted me to let the audience know that he is a big fan of reptiles. So we have Tyler Vale with this snake or slider, right? And Calabrese, believe it or not, is a big fan of lizards, and I believe he owns a few.
Lizards?
Yes. He is a big reptile fan, and I believe he owns a couple.
Oh, my God. You mean they're here in Evansville? Or back home where he's from?
I need to double check with Rob, but he did tell me that he owns a few lizards.
Oh, boy.
First pitch is upstairs for ball one.
You know, it's like those people that buy those little tiny alligators, and then when they start getting big and they flush them down the toilet in New York, and then before you know it, they live in those the sewers of New York, yeah.
1-0 is in the dirt for ball two.
Yeah, well, again, I don't like snakes, garden snakes, reptiles, whatever. I don't like snakes. I don't like bugs.
Likewise. 2-0 the count to Calabrese, who has some family and friends in town to visit him.
Oh, from Tottenville?
Yes.
You never did ask if he ever saw South Amboy.
I forgot to ask him.
Yes.
I can ask him tomorrow.
Yes, South Amboy, the gateway to the shore.
Got it. Swing and a miss for strike one to Calabrese, and Taylor Wright has some family and friends in town, and let's see, so does Mike Rizzatello.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah, so he's got, some of the guys have a handful of friends in town to see him play.
Oh.
The 2-1. And that'll be inside for ball three, and it seems that people are having a pretty good time here. A lot of laughs and a lot of smiles as the Otters are holding an 8-5 lead here in the bottom of the sixth.
Well, there's a lot to do here in Evansville. You got, the beautiful zoo that you have, and now you
I haven't been to the zoo yet.
And the waterfront, and you can visit the LST.
As Calabrese will work a walk.
And you got the racetrack. I passed that today over in Ellis Park in Kentucky. Of course, you got to go across the Double Bridge, but there's so much to see here in Evansville. Beautiful.
So warming up for the Otters will be Drew Byer was earlier, and now the lefty Abraham Alma. Oh, no, that's Cam Opp down there. My apologies.
Oh, the soldier?
Yes, and I found out earlier from Cam that he's working on trying to get his paperwork so he can be here for a potential postseason run. So head to helicopter school a little late.
Now, again, I told you my nephew was a helicopter pilot, and of course...
Throw down to first. Whoa. Calabrese is lucky. He gets back to first in time.
Yeah. I don't know where the helicopter school was, but he was in Afghanistan, and then, like I said, got to the rank of captain and retired as a lawyer up there in Fishers, Indiana now.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, in fact, we're working on some kind of a peace treaty or something with the Afghan.
Oh.
That's the longest war we ever been in, 20-some years. The Russians got out of there. They couldn't win. They live in the mountains.
Right.
In fact,
I know that was able to benefit them in World War II.
Yeah, in fact, Rocky made one of the movies, remember, about Afghanistan? Yeah.
Rocky 3.
Is that what it was, Rocky 3?
Rocky 4, my apologies, where he faced off against Ivan Drago, the Russian.
That I don't know, but he ended up riding away on a horse. I remember that.
2-1 now, the count to Cronin.
I asked David earlier, and I said, does your father know you got that haircut?
What'd he say?
He said yes. So I don't know. I mean, if he's watching this on the digital.
I'm pretty sure they are.
Yeah.
Dave has his own fashion style, and I respect it. He shows bunt. Bunt down the first base line.
It's going to be a base hit.
No one cover the first base bag, and it will be.
How many times am I going to have to say it, Dave? But if you did that several times a year, you'd get yourself a base hit. I told you, Frank Scott used to do it religiously. Now, this is the second time it's been done in this series against
Gateway.
Gateway. One of them pulled it. In fact, who was it? It was
Sakurai.
Yeah, last night.
Yep.
It's a great hit. It's just you just make the second baseman come in, field it. The first baseman comes in. Boom, you got yourself a base hit.
So Grizzlies manager Phil Warren will step to the mound. To the plate will be Keith Griesaber. Keith is 1 for 2 with a 2-run home run, as well as a walk and a run scored. Struck out looking in the first.
You know, I had a coach tell me one time, and think of this now, what I'm going to say, and that is, why do ball players practice their strengths and not their weaknesses? Think of that now. A ball player practices a great shortstop or infielder. He comes out and he'll say, hey, hit me funkles, hit me some grounders. The batters, all they want to do is stay there and have batting practice. They don't want to go out there and learn how to chase fly balls. No, I want to improve on my hitting. The infielder, you work on your strengths, not your weaknesses.
The first pitch to Keith, swung on to right field. Going back is Woodcock. And he makes the catch for out number 1. Tagging is Calabrese to third. Can he get there? Yes, he can. Now Otters have runners on the corners. To go to your point, Bill, I think they'll practice their strength because for game-time situations, practice might make perfect.
Well, there's another coach that told me that, too. I mean, another coach that I learned something from. Yes, practice does make perfect. And if you're doing it wrong, you're practicing it wrong. So you're not improving. What you're doing is you're learning to get better doing it wrong. You see, you pay attention to your coaches. When you're growing up, you learn things. I could always remember learning, having coaches and scouts, and being honest, they were baseball scouts. They were telling me, oh, no, you got to put the ball as a catcher. You got to put the ball behind your ear and throw it to second. I can't tell you how many times I used to put the ball up in my ear and then say, how can I throw it to second when I got it in my ear? But what they were trying to was, it's like telling a pitcher. It's like pulling the string on a curveball, the shade. It's a matter of speech.
Swung on, ground ball through the hole on the first base side. That's a base hit. Another RBI for Ryan Long. Make that 4 on the night.
4 hits, 4 RBIs.
Long remains perfect at the plate.
He's got to be, he started the game batting .283. He's got to be .290 at least right now. He's showing you now why he was the all-star third baseman.
And now getting the baseball from Phil Warren is Boyle. His day is done. There will be a new reliever. Let's see. Let me try to get you with a few more facts, Bill.
Well, let me, before you do that, let me just say one thing.
Okay.
Have you noticed the difference in Ryan Long's swing compared to when he looked terrible?
Right.
Now he's got that swing. He's looking better. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
No, it's not an uppercut anymore. It's more of a straight
Right, and he's not committing with that the hips rotating and the bat just, well, anyway.
The other thing is, I think of his hits tonight, I want to say at least half of them was the thing we talked about, swinging at the first pitch.
Right.
And Ryan seemed to be liking the first pitch of at least 2 of his at-bats tonight, including the one right now.
Yeah, well, the one that was in right field, the left center was, I think that was a 2-0 pitch or something. Yeah. But anyway, he's gone back to a better swing than what he had, and that's why he's hitting the ball better. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, you're good. All right, today in 1957, Richie Ashburn, known for his ability to foul pitches off.
Yes, he did. He was great.
Hits a spectator, Alice Roth, twice in the same at-bat.
Oh,
the first foul ball broke her nose, and the second foul ball hit her while she was being removed from her seat on the stretcher.
Unbelievable.
Ironically, she is the wife of Earl Roth, the sports editor of the Philadelphia Bulletin, and the Phillies won 3-1. So today, Richie Ashburn hit 2 foul balls on the same person, one that broke her nose and one while she was on the stretcher. That's not the best day at the ballpark, to say the least.
No, but you led off by saying, which he was, a really an artist at fouling pitches off. He could poke that ball to left field, or not left field, but in the left side constantly, just like Wade Boggs could. Wade Boggs could do the same thing, and just poke at the ball, just meet it, and then go into the left field stands.
I wish I was around, because I heard Whitey was a really good ball player, and he's arguably one of the best Phillies to ever wear that uniform.
Is that what you call him, Whitey?
Yeah, Richie Ashburn. So when he made the broadcast booth for the Phillies with Harry Callis, it was always Harry and Whitey, with a nice thick stogie up in the booth when I guess you were allowed to. I know Harry and Richie Ashburn were a big fan of cigars while they were broadcasting a game.
I don't know. I was in the press room, but not up in the radio booth or TV booth, But
the 1-0 to McNamee, swinging a drive to right field. Can it drop? No, it will not. But tagging from second to third is Cronin. And McNamee will move Cronin over to third. The runners are now on the corners with 2 outs.
Yeah, Philadelphia Phillies was the only place I ever got announced in the radio or in the press room dining hall.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. The Padres were playing, and, of course, my wife says, we got some friends. So I went down. I told the traveling secretary, Doc Mackay, I said, now, look, I got my wife and 8 friends coming. I'll make sure we get that box seat down by the dugout.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, don't worry. Well, I'm up in the press room dining hall eating, and all of a sudden, Bill McCune, please answer the phone. Bill McCune.
First pitch to Lane is a fastball upstairs for ball 1.
So I go over and yes, Bill, this is Doc. How many tickets did you want? I said, Doc, 8. Okay, Bill. So,
the 1-0 to Lane, ground ball to the shortstop Sakurai to second for 1, and that'll be the final out of the inning. The Otters tack on another run, another RBI for Ryan Long. He's 4 for 4 with 4 RBIs. We come back to the 7th inning at Bossy Field. The Otters up now by a score of 9-5 on the Otters Digital Network and 91.5 WUEV.
The Evansville Otters would like to thank Sinorama Evansville for their support this season. Sinorama Evansville is a multi-application supplier of custom-made signs, banners, and decals in the tri-state. Located at 1300 North Royal Avenue in Evansville, Sinorama is open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. They can be reached by phone at 812-477-7763 and can be found online at sinorama.com/in-Evansville. Sinorama Evansville, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
Since 1994, Slays Restoration has been assisting tri-state residents clean up and restore their properties after disasters of all kinds. Located at 2121 Cotter Avenue in Evansville, Slays Restoration offers assistance for water damage, fire and smoke damage, mold and biohazard mitigation, complete reconstruction, and much more. Slays Restoration can be reached toll-free 24 hours a day at 1-888-776-8555. It can also be found online at slaysrestoration.com.
SRG Global, a Guardian company, would like to wish the Evansville Otters the best of luck in today's contest. Founded in 1932, SRG Global is one of the world's largest manufacturers of chrome-plated plastic parts for the automotive, commercial truck, and household appliance industry. Located locally at 601 North Congress Avenue in Evansville, SRG Global can be found online at srgglobal.com. They can also be reached in Evansville by phone at 812-477-6151.
You're listening to exclusive coverage of Evansville Otters baseball on 91.5 FM WUEV Evansville.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. Matt Quintana's day is done. Cam Up, the man from the United States Military Academy, is in for the Otters in a trying to hold this 4-run lead and a pivotal bullpen role for Evansville.
Yeah, I was telling you, Dave, so anyway.
You were at the vet.
I was at the vet, and so anyway, I left the press room, and I go down knowing my wife was coming, and finally I see my wife coming in the door with her friends, and I yell, "Oh, come on down by the clubhouse, by the dugout. Come on down." And they're saying, no, come on up, come on up. I said, "What are you talking about?" They said, "We don't have seats there." We ended up in the second tier in left field. Was I embarrassed? Was I mad? And all I kept saying is, wait till this game's over. Boy, someone's going to hear about it. Well, it rained. And I tell you, we were under the roof. We were under the roof. And was I now thankful? But I'm still hot under the collar.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I said, well, this game's over. Someone's going to know about it. And so the game ended. I started marching down to the clubhouse, and I get a telephone call. And it said, "Don't come down. Don't come to the dressing room." And I said, "You don't know why?" They said, "Yes, we do. We know why you're upset." I said, "No, you don't." They said, "Yes, we do." What it was is Doc had forgotten to get me a ticket. All right, just a minute. 2,638. All right. 2638. So anyway, Doc had forgotten about me. And then all the different ball players, they are asking for tickets. So Doc had given all those tickets to those people, to the ball players, people. And he had forgotten about me, and then that's why he called me in the press room. So I ended up with only tickets available, was up in the left field. I said, "Oh, okay, Doc." So he had forgotten about me.
1-2 from Opp. Fastball upstairs to even the count at 2 to Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor today is 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts. Opp comes in with a 3-1 record, 2.93 ERA, 22 strikeouts and 5 walks in 14 games appeared, 15.1 innings pitched, and 1 save. 2-2 the count, and if you didn't hear, the attendance tonight, 2,638.
Very good. We've had some good crowds, especially here it is, it's getting to be football season, high school football season.
Oh, no, college football season kicks off next Saturday.
Well, so is high school.
As the Florida Gators and the University of Miami, will be playing in Disney World next Saturday night. There's a fly ball to shallow center field. 3 Otters are there. Cullen says, "I got it," for out number 1.
Right. Let the outfielder coming in have it compared to the shortstop going out.
So I've heard, I might need a double check, but when you throw around the football, sometimes the nickname is called the pigskin.
Yes.
But I think some footballs are made from cow skin.
Oh, that I don't know. That I don't know.
Maybe they used to be made of pigskin and the nickname just stuck, but might actually be cowskin now.
Well, now you're talking about those things.
First pitch from Opp to Connor Owings as we're back at the top of the order. Drops in for ball one.
And if you don't believe me, your father who's listening maybe could check what I'm going to say. You talk about pigskins for football. Well, you know, every baseball
1-0 swing and a miss for strike one.
Is rubbed up before the game by the umpires. Generally, the umpires get about 6 dozen baseballs.
Right, with mud.
The mud. You know where it comes from?
No.
New Jersey.
Does it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you could check that. And down your area of the woods.
Swing and a drive to center field. Going back is Cullen. He makes the catch for out number 2.
Yeah, there's some farmer or something going back. I don't know, and it's a certain type of mud, and that's the only one that baseball buys it from. And like I said, every before every game in professional baseball, the clubhouse boy brings in 6 or 8 or 10 dozen baseballs. The umpire rubs them all up with that mud, and
I think it's more than that. I think my dad sent me a video one time about that. Maybe a couple thousand baseballs will be rubbed with mud.
Oh, they're all rubbed.
Yep.
They're all rubbed before the game.
Long makes the catch on one hop and throws over to first for out number 3. A 1-2-3 inning for Cam Opp. Stretch time here at Bossy Field. Otters up 9-5 on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network. Baseball, Dade Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. The Otters are up 9-5 in the bottom of the 7th. It'll be Jack Meggs, J.J. Gould, and Hunter Cullen for batters 6, 7, and 8 in the order. Jack today is 0 for 3 with a strikeout and 2 groundouts. A Frontier League scoreboard roundup. The Miners of the Southern Illinois defeated Joliet 5-2. The Lake Erie Crushers defeated the Schaumburg Boomers 3-2. The Florence Freedom defeated River City 7-6. And the Washington Wild Things defeat Windy City 7-2. So if this score were to hold, the Otters would jump the Rascals for second place in the Frontier League West Division. 0-1 the count to Meggs after the foul ball.
I'm missing a base hit here, and I'm trying to figure out. We got 9 hits up there. Somewhere I lost one, but that's okay. The point I was going to make, out of the 9 hits, Ryan Long has 4 of them.
That's
so
right.
half of the Otter hits has been one person.
And 4 RBIs.
Yeah.
So roughly half the hits and half the runs driven in.
By Ron, yeah. Which the other night, a week ago, against the Rascals, it was Ryan Long night too.
Right.
Drove in most of the runs, plus scored them, and then and played defense, great defense.
That's right. Ground ball to, backhand stop, can't be fielded by Lowry. Throw over to first, and that's in time. And a good effort there by Luke Lowry at first base, thrown over to the pitcher Smith for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th. Let's see, as J.J. Gould enters the plate, he is 0 for 3 tonight with 3 strikeouts. Today in 1966, Bill, Willie Mays takes second place all-time on the home run list with a 4th-inning blast off of Ray Washburn. San Francisco's 1/2 game out of first place after beating the Cardinals 4-3.
Well, let me tell you a little story. 1950, Polo Grounds. I used to catch batting practice for the New York Giants. Oh, I'm going to say at least 10, 20 times I caught batting practice when I was in high school and out. And it was 1950, and here comes a
ground ball to the third baseman. Gould, can he get there? No. It's it's a ground out this time to JJ. 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th.
Anyway, here comes a young center fielder from Trenton, New Jersey. He was playing for the Trenton Giants in the the Interstate League. It was a Class B Interstate League in those days. And as I was in the catching batting practice, I noticed this guy again. He was just come up. I said, "My God, what big wrists he got!" And all of a sudden, when he swung that bat, it was just as smooth as could be. And that's why he had that many home runs.
God.
But he had big, strong wrists.
Oh, Willie Mays.
Yes, Willie Mays.
First pitch to Hunter Cullen is in there for strike 1.
Herman Franks was one of the catcher or coaches, and I used to take infield practice with the major leaguers.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and Herman Franks was the hitting infield practice, and I'd throw one bad. Oh, he'd curse me out.
0-1. Ground ball foul down the first base line. Count moves quickly to 0-2 to Hunter Cullen.
You know, you got to remember in those days they opened the stands and people used to come in just to watch batting practice. So infield was right before the game. So you might have had 10 or 15,000 people there when I was taking infield practice, and I was not too accurate.
Oh, 0-2 the count to Cullen. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Otters up 9-5. The pitch. Inside for ball 1. Hunter tonight is 1 for 2 with a single. He walked and scored a run on a wild pitch thrown back in the 4th.
On a pickoff play.
Yep.
He motored. The ball got by the first baseman, and he was on third base standing.
You still got it, Bill.
Yeah.
The 1-2 is low and away for ball 2.
Well, when you get paid to see mistakes, that's what, when you're scouting, that's primary. You're watching at what good things happen, but also more or less what happened, what mistakes they're making out there, because you're trying to capitalize on those mistakes.
The 2-2. Ground ball through the hole on the right side of the infield. That's a base hit. Hunter Cullen, his second hit of the game.
We're talking about mistakes. There was a kid from Philadelphia, and it was with the American Legion program. I watched him for 2 years. What great power he had. And my hometown was playing in that Johnstown tournament, and they were going to play that Philadelphia team, and the coach from my hometown comes up and says, "Bill, is there anything you want to tell us?" I said, "Yeah. If that guy comes up with the bases loaded, walk him. Walk him with the bases loaded." I said, "Yeah, give up 1 run. Don't give up 4. You know what? The bases were loaded. He got the home run. I said, I told you so. I told you. Don't pitch to him."
Rob Calabrese to the plate. Smith comes set, fires the first pitch. It's upstairs for a ball 1. Rob tonight is 0 for 1 with 2 walks and 2 runs scored.
You know, you were talking about Callis and Ashburn on the radio.
Yep.
And there was a center fielder.
1-0 and signed for ball 2.
This would be in the 80s. The center fielder they had, good speed.
Lenny Dykstra?
No, not Dykstra. It was another Bob, I think, something. But whatever. And
Bob Boone was the catcher.
No, whatever the guy's name was. Anyway, he had good
Gary
speed.
Mannix?
No,
Okay.
no. And anyway, I was in the car.
2-0, fouled behind home plate.
Coming from some ball game or something, and I was listening to the Phillies, and they were interviewing him, and he said, "Oh yeah," he says, "when I get on first base, I steal on the first pitch." Well, good. I got on the phone. I called Dick Williams, our manager of the San Diego Padres, and I said, "Dick, I just heard on the radio from Ashburn and them, when this guy gets on base, first pitch he steals, or first pitch he'll steal."
2-1 in the dirt for ball 3.
So we were on the heads up now, and every time that guy got on base, we're ready to throw him out because it's those little things you pay attention to and the little mistakes. And again, it's just talking about broadcasting, if I may.
3-1 on the outside, this time for ball 4. Third walk of the night for Rob Calabrese.
I can't think of the guy's name. Boston Red Sox radio TV guy. And I used to know him. He's a real good guy, a real nice guy. And I was sent to there was a trade. We had a possible trade going with the Red Sox. Anyway, I didn't like him, and I told Jack, don't make the trade, and so on. And Lou Gorman, I said to Lou Gorman, how come he's lobbling down to first base? It must have been a rock he tripped on or something like that. I said, okay. So next time I said, how come he's playing left field when he's the center fielder? And anyway,
first pitch to Cronin is fouled behind home plate.
Oh, Lou says, we're giving another kid a chance. I said, oh, okay. Now they're trying to trade him. It's a 5-year contract. He's in the 3rd year. He's making $800,000. We'd absorb it. So Joe was, and Joe says,
Joe Schmo?
No, anyway, Joe says on the radio, because we'd always have the radio while we're watching the game, and he said, oh, poor Tony, ever since he hurt his leg in spring training, he hasn't been able to play well.
0-1 called strike 1 down the heart of the plate.
So next night I get together with Lou Gorman, general manager. I said, Lou, you're peddling off an injured ball player. I said, I'm recommending no trade. So I called my brother Jack and I said, no trade. I said, they're unloading an injured ball player for making $800,000 contract. So we didn't make the trade. But the radio announcer is one that. And it gave me the point of what I was talking about.
No worries.
So it's just like, how many people are out there listening to you and I and picking up things?
I'd say, I don't know, maybe over under 100 maybe.
Oh, 100,000? Maybe.
No.
Maybe 50,000.
It's mighty generous of you.
But anyway, no, radio contributes to the baseball scouts.
1-2 in the dirt for a ball 2.
Observance. You pick up a lot from listening to the radio. When local people like us, we're talking about locals. But if you had a scout out there, they're listening to us.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know where scouts will be.
Yeah.
For example, there's a scout for the Phillies that works at the Jimmy John's around the corner from the stadium. 2-2 is foul behind home plate to even the count at 2.
In Philly, you're talking about?
A scout for the Phillies works at the Jimmy John's in Evansville around the corner from the ballpark.
Jimmy John's a scout?
Yeah.
He's not a full-time scout. He's a part-time scout.
Maybe he is part-time, but he's a scout.
Well, I certainly don't know about him.
Made sure not to... actually struck up a conversation as he was making my sandwich.
Jimmy John's. I eat Jimmy John's sandwiches all the time.
I am a big fan of the Italian nightclub.
Which Jimmy John now?
The one on the east side, By the Walmart?
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
IHOP?
yeah. I'll have to go in there. Now, I buy the extra bread there. I don't know if you know about that. You get yesterday's bread for 50 cents.
Oh. Ground ball to third. And he'll throw over to first, owing to Lowry across the diamond for out number 3. We head to the 8th. Otters strand Hunter Cullen, as well as Rob Calabrese. 9-5 Otters over the Grizzlies on 91.5 at WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
At the University of Evansville, you will receive an academic scholarship. You will be taught by talented, engaged professors committed to your success.
We will help you change the world.
You will have the opportunity to study abroad.
UE will change your life.
This is a place where we change the world. Come change it with us.
The Tin Fish Restaurant is located at 707 State Street in Newburgh, Indiana. Independently owned and operated, the Tin Fish menu featured salads and sandwiches, as well as seafood platters and combos, and seafood burritos, tacos, and burgers. The Tin Fish Restaurant is open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. They can be reached by phone at 812-490-7000. Visit them online at tinfishnewburgh.com. The Tin Fish Restaurant, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
Giving our best has prepared us for being the best. Announcing the University of Evansville's Harlaxton College as the #1 ranked study abroad program in the nation. As a part of the UE experience, we offer all our students an unparalleled foreign study program.
More than 60% of UE students study abroad. Our students from all majors live, learn, and travel the world and still graduate in 4 years.
The University of Evansville's Harlaxton College, the #1 study abroad program in America.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. Top 8, 9-5 Otters, 9 runs on 10 hits. As that's Wayne, who happened to interview you earlier this year as part of Evansville Baseball 360. And earlier today, he proposed to Rebecca at home plate, and she said yes.
Oh, and I just gave him 2 brand new San Diego hats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was your engagement present to him.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they were brand new. As
soft ground ball will be drifting foul down the third base line from Dustin Woodcock. Count moves to 0-1.
I was telling you how, we're getting ready to move, and when I'm unloading all that stuff, and I got so many baseball, major league hats and so on and so forth, and he had mentioned about the brown San Diego hat, which are now they're blue, but,
right.
in my time they were brown. And I had a bunch of them, so I put them in the car today, and when I saw them, I gave them 2, and they're brand new. And, I got more San Diego hats, and you can't give them away.
Did you like their move on signing Manny Machado?
Who's?
The Padres.
When?
Oh, it happened in March.
February.
They signed Manny Machado to a 10-year, $300 million contract.
No, I don't pay attention to them ever since they didn't renew my contract.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. 33 of us were put out the pasture.
Oh, no. 1-1 swung on. Right field. Right center now. Who's there? McNamee there for out number 1.
Joe McAvane, they fired my brother, and Joe McAvane took over, and a good friend of mine, Joe McAvane, from Pennsylvania, who I scouted, and when he was a minor leaguer, became assistant general manager of the Mets, and then took over to be general manager of the Padres, and he didn't fire us. He didn't renew our contracts.
Opp back on for his second inning of work. Quintana's line as Luke Lowry has a 1-0 count. Quintana making his debut in Evansville. 6 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts.
Yeah, Joe McAvane, he finally got fired. after they realized he couldn't do the job. And last I saw him down in Florida, he was scouting for the Twins.
2-0. In the dirt for ball 3.
It was a case of promoting Joe with the, now I lost the point of the Peters promotion type, where you elevate someone to a position that you can't, they can't handle it now, so you promote them higher.
3-0s upstairs for ball 4 from Opp.
Peters principle, that's what I'm trying to say.
Peter Piper packed a...
Yeah, Peter, that's the same guy. He lives around the corner.
Peter Piper packed pickled peppers?
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah, the Peters principle. Promote somebody. If you can't handle the job, promote them. That's what it's called. I mean, that's what it is.
Sean Dunston Jr. to the plate. He smashed a 2-run homer over the right field wall in his last at-bat.
And he smashed a double and won his first at-bat. Oh, Sean is having a great night tonight. Maybe it was because I talked to him earlier.
0-1. Ooh, that looked good, but it's going to be ball 1 on the outside corner. Belt high away from the left-handed batter, Dunston. Count even at 1 with 1 out. Runner on first and Lowry, double play intact. The 1-1 from Opp. And that goes behind Rob Calabrese. A wild pitch. And advancing to second base will be Lowry. There goes the double play.
Yes. And what was interesting is Mr. Meggs, playing first base, retrieved from his position all the way to the dugout to help Rob retrieve that ball so the runner wouldn't go to third.
2-1 the count now with 1 out. Dunston still at the plate. Dunston 2 for 3, double, 2-run home run, and 2 runs scored. Ryan Long, 4 RBIs, 4 hits. Ties Hunter Cullen with the most RBIs by one individual this season. Another wild pitch by Opp. Gets away from Calabrese, and trotting over to third is Lowry.
That was a wild pitch. It was a breaking ball that actually bounced, I'm going to say, 3 feet in front of home plate, which Calabrese did put his body to block it, but it ricocheted off the shoulder and went over to the dugout. But Calabrese couldn't do anything else. I mean, he did what he was supposed to, block the ball with your body, and he did. But, it makes catchers look bad when something like that happens, and yet it was the pitcher who threw a bad pitch.
3-1 the count to Sean Dunston Jr. And if you're joining us, Sean is the son of Sean Dunston. His father at one point was the everyday shortstop for the Chicago Cubs. And I believe he was paired with Ryan Sandberg at second base.
He was.
Foul ball down the right field line, and that is arguably one of the worst trades in Philadelphia Phillies history.
Yes.
When they traded Ryan Sandberg, I think Manny Trio, too, either Manny Trio or Larry Boa, along with Sandberg to the Cubs.
Yep.
For maybe, was it Juan Samuel? My dad knows that trade better than I do. Ground ball to Opp. Throw to home, now throw to first. And that'll be in time for out number 1, but the run does score. It is now a 3-run game. After touching home is Lowry. The RBI ground out for Sean Dunston Jr. And there are 2 outs here in the top of the 8th.
Now, I'm going to give the Soldier Boy all the credit in the world. That came back to him. It deflected off his glove. It rolled a few feet away. He retrieved it very quickly like any soldier would. And he pivoted to throw the runner out at home who was trying to score, realized he had no play at all, and quickly reversed his throw to first base. Now that is, I think, is training from West Point. I'm being honest. Think quickly and react.
Well, there will be a pitching change as Luke Daniel, a righty, will step to the plate, and the Otters will bring in right-handed reliever Drew Byer.
Okay.
All right, couple more facts for you, Bill.
All right.
1980,
yep.
George Brett
Yep.
Has 4 hits and 5 RBIs.
Right.
And the Kansas City Royals 8-3 win over Texas, raising his batting average to .401 and extending his hitting streak to 29 consecutive games.
Right.
George Brett.
Yes, I know George.
You saw him live, right?
He wouldn't have been in the majors if it wasn't for my brother bringing him up.
Wait, yeah?
Yeah, when my brother was the manager of the Kansas City Royals. And I'll tell you an interesting one. We had a guy, a doctor, excuse me, in Kansas City. And he got a hold of George Brett. And what he taught Brett was if you put a golf ball down and you concentrate and study on that golf ball, you can close your eyes and then swing, and you'll hit that golf ball solidly because your eyes are nothing but the windows to the mind. Therefore, the mind has already registered where that ball is, so you don't have to see it no more. And that is what made George Brett one of the better hitters in baseball.
Well, he was certainly the main reason why he advanced the Royals to the 1980 World Series. Fortunately, the Phillies were able to win their first World Championship. Steve Carlton started Game 6 that day at the Vet, and it ended with a Tug McGraw strikeout. And McGraw is famously known for his picture after he got the strikeout, throwing to catcher Bob Boone, jumped up with both hands in the air as the Philadelphia Phillies won their first World Series in 1980.
And I was there.
So was my dad.
And well, then your dad can verify this then.
Okay.
In the 8th inning, the police came out on horseback.
I'm pretty sure
and
you're
were
right.
on the field when the game ended. The 9th inning, they were stationed all over the inside of the field so that nobody would rush onto that field. That was the first time I ever seen horses on there.
I think if, as the first pitch to Andrew Daniels foul behind home plate, my dad actually has a picture from Game 6, and there were horses in the background.
Yeah.
On the field.
Yeah, cops. There were police officers.
Yep.
Yeah. See, now, there's someone that's going to back up what I say.
Yeah.
So, everyone says, oh, he makes up these stories.
1-1 the count to Andrew Daniel. Beyer comes in with a 3.85 ERA, 19 games pitched, 21 innings, 24 strikeouts, 6 walks. His fastball hums in there for a strike 2.
A lot of people do say, when a person knows as many people as I do, oh, really, he makes the stories up. And I was an educator back in Jersey.
1-2. Fly ball, shallow right field. Cronin comes over, makes the catch for out number 3. Go ahead, Bill.
Well, the superintendent wanted to go to the game, and so I said, oh, okay, I'll get you tickets. I wasn't working at that time, no scouting or nothing. And I called up, and I asked for a couple free tickets, and I got them. And it just so happens there was a problem, and the game was held up. And I said to my superintendent and assistant superintendent, have you ever been in the front office of the Yankees? They said, no. I said, well, come on, I'll invite you up to the office. So we went to the door, and of course, I said, I want to go in the front office, and they said, well, who do you want to see? And I said, I want to see the general manager, Cedric Tallis. And, of course, they call up, and they said, okay, and they opened the door and let me ride the elevator and went up the 2nd floor. And so Carl says, well, Mr. Tallis will be out in a minute. So all of a sudden, here comes George, and I introduced Cedric to my superintendent and assistant superintendent. And then here comes Steinbrenner.
Oh, boy.
And Steinbrenner comes out of some door, and he said, what are you doing? Get back to your office. And so I said to Cedric, I'm leaving. I don't want you getting fired because of me. He said, oh, he's that way. So I said, well, that's it. He said, no, stay here. I'm going back to the office, but stay. So about 2 minutes later, he came back. He says, okay. I said, no. Cedric, I'm leaving. So anyway, now the superintendent went back to school, and they said, Bill says he knows these people, and he really does.
All right, how about another one? In 1984, Pete Rose returns to the Cincinnati Reds as a player-manager, and he was able to get 2 hits in the game.
'84. That was the year we won the championship, National League championship, the Padres.
So how was he a player manager?
Yeah, there was a lot of player managers.
So does that mean you played in the game and then you managed at the same time?
Yeah, you're the man. Lou Boudreau, when the Cleveland Indians won in 1948, Lou Boudreau was, I think, the MVP of the league as well as the manager. Great shortstop. But there's been quite a few. I think Mel Ott was going back. I think you mentioned him the other day. He was the manager player for the New York Giants. So you've had player managers in the major leagues for a number of years, just like you have general managers who are managers. My brother was one, and Paul Owen in the Phillies, he was another one who was the general manager at the same time was on the field managing.
Oh, wow. To the plate now is Keith Griesaber as we start the bottom of the 8th. Taylor, the dark right, warms up in the bullpen for the Otters. The man from Brown University.
And Keith got his home run you were talking about last time.
That's right.
It was a shot that we commented about that the left fielder, all he did was turn his head.
Yep.
He did not twist his body. He just turned his neck.
Right. Now.
Or twisted his neck.
Right. Right. No, he just stood there and just watched it go over the fence and gone.
Right.
His 0-1 pitch is delivered. Oh, drop in there for a ball belt high inside to Keith. Count moves to even at 1 from Lucas Landfair. All right, let's see. The Otters hold a 3-run lead, 9-6 here in the bottom of the 8th. No outs. Landfair's 1-1 to Griesaber. That's inside for ball 2.
10 hits. And Mr. Long has 4 hits, 4 RBIs.
And he's on deck. The 2-1 to Keith. Swung on, hit hard to the shortstop. Sakurai throws over to first. That was a hard hit ball, but Sakurai's glove was there and made the play to throw over to first.
You can't hit a ball any harder than what he just did, and it just so happened that it was in the wrong position. That guy that invented baseball knew exactly where to position those players.
All right, lastly, today in 1972, Steve Carlton of the Philadelphia Phillies.
I was going to say pitching for the Phillies in those days.
Won his 15th consecutive game on a 9-4 victory over the Reds. I think that was the year where Carlton won nearly half of the Phillies games in a losing season and won the Cy Young in 72. I think he may have won close to 20-something games.
And he was a great pitcher.
Yeah.
He ended up his career pitching with the Phillies, and if he was throwing a 78-mile-an-hour fastball, he was getting by with that. I mean, he had lost all his zip, but what kept him in the major leagues was his pitching knowledge, which, again, you don't have to throw it 100 miles an hour to win. All you need is, remember Billy Shantz? You probably don't remember him. Billy Shantz was with the old Philadelphia A's.
Okay.
Won, I think, 20 games, and he couldn't break a pane of glass.
The 0-2 to Long. This will be fouled down the third base line. Count remains at 0-2. Crandall, Texas native, drives a big crimson Ford 250 truck.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's Texas proud in his truck. Lets everyone know where
Everybody from Texas drives big trucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think his truck runs on diesel too.
Oh yeah.
0-2 pitch.
Well, that's what my truck was. I had a big Ram. And,
yeah, you had a Dodge Ram?
Yeah, and I mean it was great.
With a Hemi?
No.
No.
Okay. But I had all kinds of lights and all. And it was a diesel, but then it got to be $4 and some cents a gallon for diesel. So I gave it to my son.
Right. 0-2 swung on, and that's another foul ball. I asked Ryan how many gallons per mile he gets, or miles per gallon. I said, how many you get? 5? He goes, like 10. 10 miles to the gallon.
I used to get like 15. And but I had a 36-gallon tank.
Okay. Here's the 0-2 to Long. Swing and a miss, and the first time Ryan is retired tonight.
Yeah, I gave it to my son. I said, hey, I don't want it no more. It's too expensive for me. And, of course, I got fearful because it got to be too big for me. I hated to drive it. He turned around, traded it for a Ford, and then I found out the value was $25,000. I said, oh, my God, I gave away $25,000.
To the plate now is Elijah McNamee. I got to tell you, Elijah has played a really good game both at the plate and most especially in the field. He has an RBI single. He's 1 for 3 also with a walk. But that diving catch in right field right now is one of the reasons why the Otters are holding a 3-run lead.
That might have been a great catch, but what I remember is leaping up, upper body over the 8-foot fence out there in right field, trying to catch Sean Dunston's home run.
Right.
That's what I remember.
The 1-1. That's a fastball down the heart of the plate for strike 2 from Lanfair. Lanfair with a 5.03 ERA, 56 strikeouts and 53 innings pitched. Taylor Wright, the Otters closer, continues to warm up in the pen.
What did manager Andy McCauley say on the interview? Something about after this pitch?
That would be upstairs for ball 2.
Someone got X amount of runs, and he said, well, I'm glad because maybe when they came against us, they wouldn't be scoring. They used all the runs against some other team, and hopefully they won't use those runs.
Oh, when he was talking about River City.
Yeah.
Because the Rascals came in, they scored 30 runs, or 32 runs on 30 hits.
Right.
2-2 to McNamee, swinging a drive to center field. It's going to drop for a hit. McNamee's going to take a turn around first, and then he'll stop there. And he heads over back to first base for another single.
A line drive single over the shortstop's head. I mean, that was pretty good. So he's got 2 hits for the game. I mean, we have Ryan with 4. Now you got the Big Mac with 2, and Hunter got 2.
That's right. Cronin was able to get on base in 3 of his 5 at-bats, scored 2 runs. Calabrese also scored 2 runs on 3 walks. So sometimes it wasn't always the hit. It was the walk or the ability to get on base that set up a big hit.
Yeah.
Taylor Lane has a 1-0 count. Lane today has an RBI triple that occurred in the first. He struck out in the third and had a fielder's choice in the 6th.
You talk about your Phillies. You remember Eddie Sawyer, the manager of the Whiz Kids back in 1950?
No, I don't.
Well,
that's before my time.
Well, anyway, he was one of the probably the greatest gentleman I ever met in baseball.
Wait, that one of those Phillies teams played against the Yankees and lost in the World Series?
That was it.
There's the Whiz Kids?
Yeah. And because he several times, Eddie Sawyer would say, well, the Yankee manager, and it'll come to me anyway.
Okay.
But Eddie Sawyer was the greatest greatest gentleman I ever met. And I was his boss. Can you imagine? Here I am. Who am I? And here's a famous World Series manager, and I'm his boss. And I asked him to come up and supervise this one kid in Brooklyn one day, big first baseman. And he was sitting there because, a big major league manager, so he was talking to everybody, and I was with Buddy Kerr. And I said, Buddy, look at that. He hasn't shot up yet. He isn't even paying attention to the game. Well, 2 days later, I got his report, and he knew exactly when the guy blew his nose and everything else. I later said, I saw Buddy Kerr, and I said, Buddy, remember I made that comment? And I said, Eddie Sawyer said everything was happening. He said, yeah, Bill, that's one thing you have to learn. You can bull throw all you want during the game, but never take your eyes off the ball. And that's something I learned. There's where the game is. That's where your eyes are. Your mouth may be somewhere else, but your eyes are there.
Got it. Noted.
Yeah, you see everything. So.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Time for Taylor Wright in the top of the ninth. Back after this on 91.5 WUEV and the Otters Digital Network.
Injuries are inevitable. It doesn't matter if you're playing baseball, walking the dog, or falling from a ladder. Injuries happen. When they do, Tri-State Orthopedics offers treatment for sprains, strains, and fractures by medical specialists. Tri-State Orthopedics is located at 225 Cross Lake Drive in Evansville, just north of the Lloyd and I-164. Tri-State Orthopedics can be reached by phone at 812-477-1558. Its urgent care line is 812-474-OUCH. Tri-State Orthopedics, a proud supporter of Evansville Otters baseball.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but as you grew up, things changed. Teaching just didn't seem like the best option anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Interesting and innovative things are happening in teaching today, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
The Pizza Brick Road always goes to Tyroni's. I'm in the mood for pizza and I'm ready to go. The Pizza Brick Road goes to Tyroni's. So follow me down the Pizza Brick Road. Road down to Tyroni's. The Pizza Brick Road. The Pizza Brick Road always goes to Tyroni's.
Swung on, hit well to left field.
Watch the left fielder.
And he turns around as that ball is out of here.
Did you see the left fielder?
He just turned around.
He just turned his head. He never took a step. He knew from the crack of the bat it was gone.
You're listening to exclusive coverage of Evansville Otters baseball on 91.5 FM WUEV Evansville.
Welcome back to Evansville Otters baseball. Dave Nguyen, Bill McCune on the call. 9-6 Otters the score, top of the ninth. And Taylor the Dark Wright in on the mound. 11 o'clock on the East Coast. And the Phillies have won by a score of 5-3. Or, excuse me, they lost to the Padres tonight by a score of 5-3. Lost about 30 minutes ago. Taylor Wright comes in for the Otters, trying to earn another save. Taylor is 3-0 with a .86 ERA with 50 strikeouts, 13 balls, or 13 walks. 41.2 innings pitched, 12 saves, and 31 games. He'll be facing batters 7, 8, and 9 in the Grizzlies order. Starting off with Wesley Jones, followed by Greg White and Zach Taylor, the catcher. Jones today is 1 for 3 with a single that occurred all the way back in the second.
Casey Stengel was the guy I was trying to remember.
Okay.
The professor.
Got it. First pitch from Wright. Swung on, and that's a blooping single into right field. So a runner on for the Grizzlies. 1 pitch, 1 hit. Here to start the top of the ninth for Gateway. To the plate now is Greg White, the left fielder. He has an RBI single tonight. He's 1 for 3. Struck out in his last at-bat in the 6th. Wright trying to settle in and send the Otters home with a victory. From the left side of the rubber, Wright kicks and fires. That's a foul ball down the first base line. Count goes to 0-1. Jones hitting .333, 5 for 17. Actually, he's hitting .294 as he's hitting 5 for 17 on the year. With 1 RBI appearing in game number 6 for Gateway. The 0-1 from Wright. Swing and a miss. Count moves quickly to 0-2. Double play intact for the Otters. Otters took command of this game, scoring the first 2 runs of the game back in the bottom of the first. 4 RBIs on 4 hits for Ryan Long. Calabrese sets up outside. The 0-2 swing and a miss for another strikeout. Make that strikeout number 51 on the air for Taylor Wright. One away in the top of the ninth.
That was a pitch that was way low and outside, and that man reached for it, and even if he had a sailor's oar, he couldn't have touched it.
I like that.
Well, mark it down. You could use that in the future.
Okay.
Pitch hitter?
Yes.
Pitch hitter.
Cletus Avery.
Oh, it's over here. Yeah, Avery.
Cletus Avery from Atlanta,
Georgia, but played with the minors last year.
That's right.
You know, just a real quick end the story about Casey Stengel and Eddie Sawyer. We'd be at some kind of baseball function, and Eddie Sawyer said, "Oh, you want to go say hello to Casey?" And I'd say, "Yeah, okay." And he'd go over and he'd say,
First pitch, right down Broad Street for strike one.
He'd say, "Hey, Professor. Oh, whiz kid." And he said, "You know Bill?" "Oh, yeah, I know Bill." I mean, if I met Casey Stengel 10 times, he'd say, "Oh, yeah, I know Bill." He didn't know, say hello to me today and forget me tomorrow.
Sure. The 0-1 pitch. Ground ball to Cronin. To second for one. To first. A 4-6-3 double play. Taylor the Dark Right earned save number 13 on the year. And the Otters tie the series against Gateway. 1 game apiece for a rubber match tomorrow. 9 runs on 11 hits for the Otters. 6 runs on 9 hits for the Grizzlies. Wright pitched a clean 9th inning on Breast Cancer Awareness Night. And fireworks, rightfully so, as there will be shot off after the game.